When I listened to Mrs. Hamer, a black woman, could be my mother, my sister, my daughter, describe what they had done to her in Mississippi, I asked myself, how in the world can we ever expect to be respected as men when we know that we will allow something like that to be done to our women and we do nothing about it? How can you and I be looked upon as men with black women being beaten and nothing being done about it? Black children and black babies being beaten and nothing being done about it. No, we don't deserve to be recognized and respected as men as long as our women can be brutalized in the manner as that this woman described and nothing be done about it, but we sit around singing, "We shall overcome."
It was entitled, "Black Child's Self-View is Still Low, Study Finds." The repeating of a landmark study shows that feelings of racial inferiority among young black children are as strong now as they were 40 years ago, researchers reported yesterday. But they said black children can be helped to develop greater self-esteem through efforts by teachers, parents, and changes in the way blacks are portrayed in films and television. And it goes on to indicate about 2/3, the new studies involved asking children which doll they prefer, a black one or a white one. About 2/3 of the black children preferred a white doll. Many of you, of course, will recall this is a recapitulation of the famous Kenneth Clark study. And you'll probably recall, either through your reading or in terms of your past experience, that study was very instrumental in influencing that Dr. Clark, whose study formed the basis to a good extent of the Supreme Court ruling, did not bring into question perhaps the ideology that was also a part of that ruling, and the ideology of assimilationism that was also energizing this kind of activity in the court, and has energized the black community for the last 40 years. There is still no effort, from what I can see and hear, on this part to perhaps question the philosophy that thought that black children's self-esteem and black children's love of themselves could be augmented or increased or enhanced by having white people love them. I have always contended that the effort of organizations like the NAACP and others in integrating black children with white children was not principally educational in nature. It was essentially an effort to get over an inferiority complex. I run into too many black parents when, if you would tell them that you know of a black school that was academically more advanced than any white school they could send their children to, will still refuse to send them there. I've known some black families who would send their children to very top-notch black schools in the first grades, and so 2 or 3 or 4 grades, because the schools had a reputation for producing very advanced students. And then after 2 or 3 years or so, take them out of the school and transfer them over to a white school, saying, of course, their children had to learn to get along with everybody. And so what was more important than their continuing to learn in an advanced state was that they learned to relate to white folk, and that they learned somehow to relate to other folk. A great myth, by the way, that is prevalent in the black community. I have yet to see the Japanese busing or plane loading their children to the United States in order for them to learn how to overrun the United States in every aspect of technology and politics and otherwise. I have yet to see the Japanese having to busload or plane load their children to the United States so that their children can outscore American white children on IQ tests and have those IQs grow generation after generation. And that's exactly what has happened. To outthink white children scientifically and technologically, and to outthink them economically and otherwise. I didn't see them exporting their children to American white schools to get that done. Yet we had a group of blacks in this country who felt that 2 plus 2 is not 4 in the black community. 2 plus 2 is only 4 in the suburbs somewhere. 2 plus 2 is 4 in Harlem and anywhere else. The idea that you have to export your child out to learn basic knowledge and information and to enhance itself intellectually is a fallacy. It is a veneer for people who are really trying to solve other problems in their personality. A veneer for people who are really wrestling with their sense of inferiority and self-hatred, who will sell then the idea of trying to get rid of that sense of inferiority, powerlessness, and dependency, sell it in the name of better education, when really the game was trying to be accepted by their former slave masters and the people who currently dominate them. The situation went on. The report went on to say, in the United States, 2/3 of the black children preferred white dolls, a response that research is interpreted as indicating low racial self-esteem. In the Trinidadian study, that is, they went to Trinidad and replicated the study there as well, 85% of light-skinned black children preferred the white doll, and 64% of dark-skinned black children. Further, it states the new studies also assess whether an intervention
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. Yeah, what's going on, my brother Anthony? Um, yeah, man. So I wanted to come on here and I'm gonna wait for a second for Cassidra. You know what I'm saying? When Cassidra come on here, I know I'm late. Is my fault. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know we was gonna be on here today. So of course, it took me a while to come on here because yo, what's going on, Raw? What's going on? But yeah, I ain't gonna be on here, without Cassidra. So I'll just give it a minute to see if she come. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, like I was saying, we were supposed to be on at 8:30. You know what I'm saying? It's my fault. I didn't, you know what I'm saying, know we was gonna go on today. So um, I just had some other stuff going on, and then it took me, a few minutes to get it set up. So my fault to Cassidra. You know what I'm saying? And I will say, I haven't even like watched some of them stuff. It's a couple of it's videos that a couple of things that Consider sent me, and then I had like one or two things that I saw myself, but I haven't watched any of it. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even like prepare it like that. You know what I'm saying? So when she come on here, we'll just kind of freestyle it. You know what I'm saying? Um, But I did see, I guess, while we waiting for her, to see if she come on, um, and I'll hit her up in a second to see. But while I do that, I want to show y'all something. what I found kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested to see how y'all feel it. So they leading a prayer of forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? Apology. They're trying to apologize to you. I'll
As
play this
I
while I call her
speak,
real quick.
I'm going to ask the white Americans in the room to please repeat after me. On behalf of myself and on behalf of my country, to you and all African Americans, from the beginning of our nation's history, in honor of your ancestors and on behalf of your children, please hear this from my heart. I apologize. Please forgive us.
I don't know if y'all forgive them or not. They said, "Oh, I'm sorry, my bad."
With this
Oops.
prayer, I acknowledge the depth of the evils that have been perpetrated against Black people in America. From slavery to lynchings to white supremacist laws to the denial of voting rights, to all the ways, both large and small, all of them evil, all of them wrong, for all the oppression and all of the injustices.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all want to accept their apology. All right, hold on real quick.
I apologize. Please forgive us.
Well, first of all, the government should never have made the deal with the big pharma that they could.
Please hear this from my heart. I apologize. Please forgive us. With this prayer, I acknowledge the depth of the evils that have been perpetrated against Black people in America. From slavery to lynchings to white supremacist laws.
Yeah, you heard that. She said, "Oh, my bad, y'all. Oops," to the lynchings and all of that. Yeah, and somebody said, apology without a change in action is, what I'm saying, manipulation or whatever you want to call it. It's definitely funny. What's going on, matron? Matron in the building says action like this fake apology that makes white people think that they can be absolved from their evil actions. Never forget, that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Um, and then apologize to do it again. So I know that we eat them up. Yeah, the fake religious ones. Yeah, they'll definitely get the fake religious ones on there. But yeah, Cassidra says she come in, and y'all can definitely. Here she go now. What's going on, Cassidra? Um, what's going on, Cassidra? You there? I don't know if she can hear me.
There you go. I had to take your.
Oh,
What's
okay.
going on? Yep, I'm here. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm sorry, Cassidra. Yeah, I didn't even think we was gonna go on today, so that was my bad. I'm sorry. Uh,
Okay, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Can you hear me? Okay.
yeah. I hear you now.
Okay. Okay. I heard an echo or something. Yeah, man. This is. I was kind of, just got busy. I do apologize for being late, but yeah, I thought we was gonna do it every Wednesday, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just didn't know if you because I didn't know what the topic was gonna be, so I ain't want to bother like blow your phone up. You know what I'm saying? or bother you because I know you be busy and stuff.
Man, I ain't that busy. This the community. You know, I have a love for my people. It's all good.
Yeah.
Anytime I can help and do for us, it's on and popping.
Yeah.
You already know that. I'll be ready.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know sometimes I be annoying people sometimes, so I be trying to chill. But
Well, when you need to chill, just let me know and it's all good.
oh no, I'm saying like when I be coming on here, I be annoying other people when I blow them up all the time. So I was like I ain't want to do that.
Oh no, it's
But
okay.
yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, Anthony, I'm surprised he not on here tonight.
Yeah, he said he coming in a few minutes.
Oh,
And
okay.
and if anybody else want to come on here, make sure you or anybody else who come in here, if y'all want to come on here and add something to it, you can definitely do so. Um
Absolutely, absolutely.
I don't
That's
know if you saw what I was just playing, Cassandra. Did you see it?
I did not. I missed it.
All right, it's only a minute. They already seen it, but I'm gonna play it just for a minute for you
Okay.
before we get into the topic.
Okay. Cool.
In the room to please.
She said, leaves a
I'm
prayer and
going to ask
apologizing.
the white Americans in the room to please repeat after me. On behalf of myself and on behalf of my country.
I'll be like, oh, he ain't
To
saying
you
it.
and
He
all
ain't
African
saying nothing.
Americans. From the beginning of our nation's history,
Like, this
in
dude ain't
honor
talking.
of your ancestors and on behalf of your children,
He's
please
scratching his
hear
elbow.
this
This
from
fool.
my heart. I apologize. Please forgive us. With this prayer, I acknowledge
She ain't
the
saying
depth
nothing either.
of the evils that have been perpetrated against Black people in America.
I'd be like, yo, man, hey, this person over here ain't saying it, yo. Somebody make this person talk. But nah, what you think about that?
Oh my God. Forecast. Did she attach a check with that?
She didn't
'Cause
attach nothing to that.
that's all I'm talking about right now. A check would have been good. You know what I'm saying? We don't need apologies. Those days are over. We're not expecting an apology. We don't care about your apology. All we care about is you attaching a check when you open your mouth to tell us you're sorry. Your restitution. That's for something that was done to us. That's a bill owed. Just like I can't go up to my electric company and say, you know what, I'm sorry, I don't have the money. I appreciate all the electric that you let me use. I can't do that. I have to take a check, right? So when you apologize or when you owe something, you have to take money. You can't talk your way, and that's not an apology. Did she give Jews an apology? You know what I'm saying? Are they giving the Jews an apology? No, they're giving them a check. So that's what I want. Don't give me an apology. Your apology don't mean nothing to me. Show me the money.
He said, ooh, it's my bad for all the lynching and stuff. I'm sorry.
Exactly. What am I supposed to do with that? Show me the money. That's all I care about. I
Yeah.
don't care about no apology. Those days are over. I don't care. I don't know about maybe some other folk that that's looking for an apology from them, but I don't care about your apology.
Yeah.
Show me the money. That's the only way you can show me how sorry you are.
Facts. And by the way, shouts out to Buwana in here. He said, yeah, you want this clip? Just put in Mary Ann Williamson apologize, and
That's
you'll
all.
get it.
Nobody care about that apology. Shoot, what are they supposed to do for us?
Yeah.
What did she thought she was gonna get presidency because she apologized?
Well, she was like, yeah, all you got to do is tell black folks I'm sorry, and black folks gonna eat it up. So
Exactly, and that's exactly what she did. But black folk, my black folk, me black folk, us black folk, we think about your apology. We can care less. Attach a check to the apology. That means that'll go further than an ice. I'm sorry. You know, that don't mean nothing to us.
And Matron said, even in the statement, they say my country, not our country. That right there tells you everything, tells you their intentions.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Exactly. Actions speak louder than words.
They said from the beginning they've been crashing the planet. Yep, they destroy everything. And yeah, exactly. Cut the check. But yeah, man. And by the way, if anybody do come in the background, all right. So my brother Anthony here. I left him out last time. That was my bad. What's going on, my?
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good, my brother.
Hey, Anthony, how you doing?
How you doing, Miss Cassidra? How you doing too, man?
Good. You ready this week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't get scared. We good.
Oh, no, I ain't never scared.
Yeah. And if anybody else want to jump on, and I don't see you, put it in the regular chat because I can't really see in the back if I'm sharing it, but I'm gonna be looking. But anyway, so this week, we talking about protecting, our well, I guess consider you can introduce it, you know what I'm saying, like about protecting our community.
Yeah, it's mandatory for us. We're not protecting our babies. Seriously. We got a lot of single women. I think we touched on it just a little bit last week, but we have a lot of single women here, and their children are left uncovered. Whether it's whether it's on purpose or not, but I'm gonna just hope and pray that it's not on purpose. But if it is, then shame on you. But if your child is telling you it's something's wrong, or you have to recognize their behavior. If your child is something serious going on with your child, I hope. You can tell by their behavior, you can tell by the way they react with a certain person, or you can tell the way they react with their dolls if they're, younger and they can't really talk. If you put their doll in the middle of the floor with them, and let them sit on the floor and play with their baby dolls, they'll tell you everything that's going on in their lives, or at daycare, or with Becky, or with Tom, or whatever. But let's just face the facts. We should never be leaving our babies with boyfriends that have been in jail, or just boyfriends, period. I think it's more, we I'm trying to say this where I'm not hurting feelings, but I think it's about time that we do hurt some feelings, because a lot of times we leaving our kids with these men that we don't even know them. We've not vetted them, and we're moving them in within 30 days. That is not long enough to know a man. Really, you barely know them, but we'll move them right on in from jail. They'll come from jail and come into your houses, and we know, and I know what's going on with these men behind bars. Okay, especially if they spend any time behind bars, that they doing some other stuff. Okay, and I worked in the jail, and I can tell you that it's not always, it's a whole lot going on up in there. Okay, and they'll come right on out and act like they normal when they've been doing some other stuff with some same sex folk. Okay, so I'm sure you guys understand. So my thing is, we have to protect our children, and we're gonna show you some things tonight of ways and people who are not we're not protecting our babies, and our babies should be high priority. They should, no matter what. You have these kids. It's not always you can get to know him. You don't have to move him in 30 days. Get to know him, he in his house, you in your house, because like I said, we're protecting our kids at all costs. Okay, that's so important, and we're not doing that. So we will show you some things that has gone on of people not protecting their children.
Right. And Anthony, you want to say something before we start?
Oh no, I'm just chilling, listening to everything, man. It's good. I mean, I'm like I want to wait till we really get into things.
All right, yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, cause and I haven't seen like most of these joints, so it's all new to me. And I got some videos that Cassidra sent, and then I found like one or two videos Cassidra. I don't even know because I hadn't even watched like the whole thing, but
Awesome.
I know I've seen them before. But
the last one that I sent you, play that one first. The very last one. That's the main one.
Which one was that?
Let me see. I think it was about the janitor at the homeless shelter. Hold on, let me see. Let me go in here and see which one it was. I think that's the most important, because that's really gonna highlight what we're talking about. I think it's the Washington D.C. Post. I think it is the Washington Post. I think that's the one.
Okay.
I'm gonna open it up myself and see. Is that the one?
All right. Yeah, I see.
Yep, that's the one.
Okay. All right. All right. So I just got the video. I can't play the story because it's gonna make the computer freeze up.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know which one to play. So
the top one, I think. Well, either one. I think that. Well, let me see which one.
This one like 23 minutes, but this one is the timeline, and this one is like this 3 weeks ago, and that one is 4 years ago. So I guess I'll play the one from like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, you can play. It's not one. It's this one happened a few years ago, but it was kind of unsolved. But
Right.
I guess you could show, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I guess this one is like the update, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'll play this one.
The new dollar.
I don't think they're too long, are they? You know.
These ones aren't long, so I guess I can show them both.
Yeah, cool.
Since the disappearance of 8-year-old Relisha Rudd.
Tonight, community members gathered to pass out flyers highlighting the unsolved case. And in an interview you'll see only on Fox 5, our Jacqueline Matters spoke exclusively with her stepfather on this 10-year anniversary. Jacqueline.
Well, guys, Relisha was last seen at a Northeast D.C. motel here along New York Avenue and Bladensburg Road. She was seen in surveillance video walking hand in hand with a man down a hallway that her family and she knew quite well.
Relisha Rudd is DC's baby.
Rudd was just 8 years old when she vanished from a city homeless shelter on March 1st, 2014.
She was real helpful. You know, she always was happy. She kept the family happy. She was that spirit for the family.
She was last seen with a man known to her parents, Khalil Tatum, who worked as a janitor at the shelter Rudd lived at with her family.
I told her, my grandfather told her before he passed on, my mom told her, keep him away from Relisha. You know, it's just my mother, he's getting too fond of Relisha.
But it took 18 days before anyone realized the little girl was missing.
They asked me.
18 days.
I was told she was at Ashley's house. Shamika and her mother telling them that she was at the shelter last. No, she wasn't.
During the weeks-long search for Relisha, Tatum shot and killed himself. And it's widely believed by investigators that he killed her before taking his own life. But there's others with different theories and many who are still searching for her to this day.
We believe that someone out there, they know something, and we're not going to stop looking for Relisha until we can bring her home or bring answers to the D.C. area.
This new age progression photo from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children shows what Relisha might look like now at the age of 18. 10 years later, her stepfather says he often thinks of what Relisha went through in the final moments before she was taken.
What keeps me up in the past was just her screaming for daddy or just screaming for help, period. And nobody was there. Nobody was there.
But since Relisha's body has never been found, there's hope she's still alive. And one woman who is the longest living Jane Doe says we can't give up just yet.
Unfortunately, being missing for 50 years, that was the assumption. All missing children aren't dead. We're alive, we're walking, we don't know that we were abducted. And this is the same hope that I have for Relisha.
I got my hopes. I honestly do. I spoke with my son. And he said he believes she's still alive. But it's not looking hard enough. So I got hope, but I'm preparing for the worst.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead, Cassidra.
So why do you think he killed himself if she's still alive?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't want to say that.
I'm just saying, why would you kill yourself? If you really believe that that girl is alive, why would he kill himself? How did he get the little girl? Why didn't they know that the little girl was missing for 18 days? What was her mom? See what I'm saying? This is us protecting our babies. You was in the shelter. You met this man at a shelter, right? So he was, I think, the janitor. But it took them 18 days to find out this baby was missing. Where was her mother all the time? Why was he walking in the hotel room with this little girl, in a hotel? It's a lot of questions. My thing is, where was the mom? Why she wasn't arrested? I don't know if she died or what happened to the mom. But my thing is, why, what's the whole story? This is so important, ladies. Our children are more important than a man. We have to get to the point where we're not so thirsty that any man that blink at you, that, you know what I'm saying, that you just gonna drop your protection and you just gonna give your child over. Hey, can you babysit? You got men out here waiting for you, ladies, for that child, for that babysitter not to show up, or for you to have to go to work, and that person that usually will watch your child don't show up, and he's ready for you to hey, can you watch them? I'm working, you know, a couple hours. I'll be home at 5 and blah, blah, blah. And you didn't told him the whole story. I'm going to work. I'm not coming back until 5 o'clock. So, and it's 9 o'clock in the morning. So you got all this time with my daughter or my son, because sons are just as, you know, they're just as vulnerable nowadays. Okay. Sons are, you know, coming up missing, being molested, all kind of stuff. Okay. So it's so important for us to protect our babies. Why does some stuff like this happen? What's going on in Black community? I'm not talking about any other community. I'm talking about our community. What is going on for things like this to happen to our babies? What's going on with the woman? And I'm not even going to just put it on the woman. Where's that girl's father? The presence of a man in a household, or the presence of a man in your life, or the presence of a man in your child's life makes a big difference. If you think if her dad was there, would that happen? Would that have happened if her dad was present? Or if the mom had to work and she was able to call the dad, even though we're not kicking it no more, but this is your daughter. So, hey, we're going to tag team. Either you keep her, I'm working days, you working nights, you got her at night, and I got her doing it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to learn how to get along with the person we having these babies with. Stop just having these babies overnight. You know, you sleeping with this man. You just met him today, and you on a date with him, and you in a bed with him 5 hours later. What are we doing here? So it's not just, and I'm not going to just put it on her mom. I'm going to put it on the dad too, because the dad wasn't there. I didn't hear anything about the dad. Okay. So what's going on with that? You know, where's the tag team? Where's, you know, you got her, you know, like I said, you got her in the morning, I got her at night. So we don't have anybody else. You don't ever have to leave her, your child, your children with a stranger. I don't care if it is a stepdad. That's not her dad. It's a stepdad. So he should never be left alone with your children. I'm just sorry. That's just how I feel. I know people say, well, that's a stepdad. And he's okay. I mean, it should be years before you start doing that. Kids need to be able to talk, and you know, you guys have to have that relationship where she feels safe enough to come to you and tell you, hey, I'm feeling really creepy when you're gone and he's here. You understand what I'm saying? So communication is everything. But we have to build that communication up. We have to build that relationship up with our children for them to be feeling comfortable enough to tell or to talk. And we're not doing that. And I'm just saying, some of these men, you need to be checking on your kids. If you're not rocking with the mama, you rock with her when you was having that baby, didn't you? Okay. Then your child should be your first priority, not the woman that you're with, her children. Your daughter is across the street, across town, 5 blocks away, 2 blocks away, and you're not even talking or seeing your daughter. You're not even giving her on the weekend. What's going on with that? And that's something that needs to be addressed in the Black community. Our men need to do better. And ladies, we need to pick better men for our babies. Oh, go ahead. I'll rest my mic.
Yeah. Cassidra, did it say how long she knew the dude?
Well, it said that she was in the shelter. I do know that she was in the shelter. Okay. It didn't say, I don't think how long, because I didn't read, because it's a whole article. I didn't read that she knew him. You know, they didn't mention how long. But if you met him in the shelter, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
We have to start vetting, you know, because you can meet somebody and know if they creepy or not. I can. You know what I'm saying? You could meet somebody and know that it's not quite right. No matter how they faking and shaking, if you get to know that person, you're going to get to understand, you know, his past. And, you know, he was working. He probably had a record. If he was working in the shelter, probably wasn't making a whole lot of money. So did we check to see, did he have a record? You know what I'm saying? And we have to understand, you know, like I said, some of these guys coming out of jail, they down low, and they, you know, they've been doing some creepy stuff, okay, in jail and in prison. You know, if you spend any time in jail, you know what I'm talking about, you know. And I think, you know, we have to start vetting them, you know, better than what we're doing. You'll meet a man, ladies, we'll meet, meet a man. And if you rocking with them, you know, same date that you dated them the same day, come on, something's wrong. No, you got to start getting to know these men. Why is it so important to jump in bed with them today? Get to know them. Get to know his family. Get to know his personality. Get to know what makes him angry. Get to know him. What kind of person is he? How did he grow up? with his mom? Did his mom and dad? Did he spend time with his dad? Was the mom and dad together? How did his dad treat his mom? How did his mom treat the men in her life? Was she violent toward her men? Was your dad's brothers violent toward their women? We have to get to know family members. Do we have mental illness in our families, in their families? What's going on with the grandmama, the great grandmama? Was they into all kind of stuff? We have to stop. Just take your time, get to vet each other better than what we doing. Because sometimes these people got hearing voices. I told you about the case where the little guy was trying to date my daughter and was telling me he was hearing voices. You can't date my daughter. No, sorry, because I'm saving myself. Because you heard Madam coming. I told him you can't date my daughter, and I told him why. Who helps you when you have an episode? Who backs you down? His mom. What happens when you can't get to your mom? Who's gonna back you down from hurting my daughter? Because you heard mine, I'm coming. That's why you can't date my daughter. I'm serious. And that's what I told him. No hard feeling. But it wasn't about me not hurting his feelings. It wasn't about him. It was about the safety of my daughter. You understand what I'm saying? So how many women would have said that? Her dad was like, nah, baby girl, you can't. No. And her dad and I, we married 10 years, divorced, and and then he died. And so, but we parented like, we both parented. We tag team, but he told her the same thing. If I told her, he told her. But parents, sometimes we divorce now and don't even have nothing. The kids don't have nothing to do with the dad, and the dad ain't calling because I don't want to deal with her. It's not about her. It's about your child. It's about you maintaining that relationship with your child. Maintaining, so if she can't talk to mom and she got a little creepy man over there, that you can go to dad and say, Dad, look, I don't feel comfortable around Buddy. Buddy is doing some crazy stuff. He, Google eyes and all this stuff and pat me on the butt. Oh, who did she have to tell that to? She's 7. Sound like her mom just, hey, here's my daughter. No, we're not giving out. No, we're not doing that. We're going to protect our kids. We have gotten to the place where we don't even think it's important to protect our kids. We just automatically assume they cool, but you ain't vetted nobody. Well, he nice to me. Okay, well, you don't know anything about him. You just met him yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So everybody nice today. So we have to get to the point where we are protecting our children better. And men, you're going to have to step up. You got these kids. This is why you're going to vet that woman. You're going to get to know her. You're going to know if she's crazy, because, you're going to know if she's crazy or not. You're going to find out about her mama, because if her mama too much in her business, leave that woman right there. You understand what I'm saying? Because you got a whole lot of women who was involved in their daughter's relationship because they ain't got no man and they ain't doing nothing over there with themselves. So they all in the relationship. Leave her right there with her mama. We have to start vetting these women better. You have to understand what kind of childhood did she have? What's her childhood abusive? Did her dad, how was her mom and dad? How did her dad treat her? How did the uncles treat her? What's going on with her and her brother? It's a whole lot of creepy stuff happening in these families nowadays. Okay. So we have to be real and we have to face truth. And a lot of us don't want to face truth. Because we got uncles doing stuff. We got daddies, like you said, forecast, a friend of yours, that you grew up with. Her dad was doing some things. Okay, it's some creepy stuff out there. But we have to parent better, men and women. Go ahead, forecast. I'll rest my mic.
Yeah. Anthony, are you there, my brother?
Yeah, what's up, man? I'm here.
Yeah. You want to say something?
No, I agree 100%, man. I mean, the sister said everything that need to be said. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I feel you, my brother. And the thing is, let me go to the thing about this conversation, right? And the truth is, like, it affects like everything that we really going through, and really the hit home part of it, because we be like, yo, the community is messed up, and especially when it comes to like even dating, like, oh, why can't we do certain things and like all of that, because like we dealing with a whole bunch of trauma on both sides, you know what I'm saying? As I speaking as a man, who goes and dates women, I know that like I had to learn that a whole lot of this trauma comes from like some crazy stuff that happens in their childhood that's not really their fault. It's just it evolves into your personality, you know what I'm saying? And it makes it hard. And I can only imagine, you know, on the other side for a woman dating a man with all of the trauma that he may or may not have, you know, or the broken families, because a lot of this stuff really happens where people violate each other, you know what I'm saying? It's really crazy. And like if you don't know about that, just consider yourself blessed, because if you talk to a lot of people, it's a common theme. And then we wonder why, like as a community, we like, why do we follow like certain people who's like we think is well, that what do you think that you're used to, you and you attract what you were used to, you know what I'm saying, the thing. And we all got like psychological problems starting already in a bad situation, and then we have so much trauma being passed down to where, you know, um if we continue to pass it down to the children, it's going to be like another generation of doing the same thing. And we on social, especially now with social media, so now that children is going to be exposed to so much stuff at an earlier age, it's probably going to be even crazier than it used to be, you know. So and go to the next one, right? This was another one, a 7-year-old. I don't know which one to play. I'll just play this one, right? I think that's the one you sent me, Cassidra.
Yeah, either one is fine.
That's more on how Deshaun is being remembered.
But God is going to heal our heart. We don't know how long it's going to take to heal, but I just want to let everybody know Deshaun was a beautiful child.
He loved Spider-Man, you know, and stuff like that. That was his favorite character. He loved Spider-Man and stuff, running, playing just a normal kid.
The fact that Deshaun Williams is gone is hard to comprehend.
I love that boy so dearly. It's messed up he gone. It's hard for me to even talk about it, man, to be honest.
The details of his death, tragic and disturbing. The 7-year-old tortured and killed. Investigators say at the hands of his own mother and her boyfriend. Police were called to their home on Hurlbut on Detroit's east side Sunday morning.
If we would have knew, we most definitely would have stepped in and tried our best to take care of the situation.
We need more love, Father God, and less hate in this world. Yes, Lord. Deshaun came to bring us love, Father God. Yes. Let us continue to show that love.
Friday night, an emotional goodbye to Deshaun at Piper Park, one of the little boy's favorite places to play.
Father God, we ask these things today that you will give Deshaun the rest that he deserves. Yes. We thank you, Father God, for releasing him from the pain and torture of this world.
As they reflected on the horror of his death, they also reflected on the joy he brought to others during his short life.
My son, he was a loving boy. He was bright. When he walked in the room, his smile would brighten up your day.
On Detroit's east side, Camille Amiri on the Edge.
All right, so let me see what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't like using the news because they don't talk about it, you know.
A mother and her boyfriend are facing murder charges in the death of a 7-year-old little boy. Police say Alicia Holloman, an Avion trailer, physically abused the little boy. Some of the evidence was presented at their hearing today. Will Jones live with what was revealed in court in this such a tragic case. Will.
Kimberly, simply heartbreaking what this 7-year-old boy allegedly experienced. And we want to warn you, some of those details shared in court today may be difficult for you to hear. Prosecutors say that boy was brutalized.
There are just simply no words to describe how absolutely brutalized Deshaun was.
Prosecutors say at the hands of his own mother, 23-year-old Alicia Holloman, and her 21-year-old boyfriend, Avion Trailer. The couple appeared virtually at 36th District Court this morning, and there we learned more about the nightmare that Deshaun Williams endured.
His pelvis was separated into two.
And the abuse of his body continued after his death.
He has an anal tear and burn marks that were made post-mortem.
Detroit police were called to this home in the 3700 block of Hurlbut on the city's east side just after midnight Sunday. The boy was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. The cause of death, prosecutors say, multiple blunt force trauma.
There's home surveillance video that shows defendant Trailer carrying lifeless, moaning Deshaun downstairs to the basement along with defendant Halaman coming up and down from the basement multiple times.
The wounds you described suggest torture. Do you have any indication how long it lasted?
Judge, the injuries that caused his death were within a day. However, his body shows marks and scars from prolonged abuse.
The judge said the couple is a danger to the community, so they were given no bond, so they will remain in.
All right, so and before I pass it to you, Cassidra, let me say this, right? Now, like one of the women that I've talked to before, right? And it does make I blame everything on them. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's why I wish for their destruction and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand how everything happens, and this person ends up being the way that they are because of the trauma, right? Because like I said, there's one person that I knew, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that person hurt me, but I can't even blame them once I knew why that happened, and it wasn't her actual mother, but it was her aunt who she had to live with. Wow, because her mother died and her father was away in the military. And this aunt did the same thing as this story right here with the boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? But it was a little girl, and now it turned her into somebody she isn't as far as that chick who became a sociopath. A sociopath is something that is created. Like, I believe that they are psychopaths, which is born, you know what I'm saying? They born with this thirst for blood. A sociopath is from my understanding is somebody whose environment, the society, it turns them into a cold person. Like, you got to eat, so you go out there and you do something that you're not proud of, and then the more you do it, the more emotionalist you come from it, right? And then, but this person who I knew wasn't as bad as that person. I don't think that they would do anything like that, you know what I'm saying? But they did develop a level of coldness to where, even with their own child, you know what I'm saying, even though it wouldn't go that far, you know what I'm saying, like I said, this is just a psychological effect, and then we wonder why. We look around and wonder why the people are who they are. And if you thinking I know as a dude, if you're thinking with the wrong head, let's say, you know what I'm saying, you don't know who that person is, and it's gonna take you time to learn that, and you better hope that you don't get burnt in the meantime. But yeah, go ahead, Cassidra.
Even what you said, but now let's go back over this little story with this little boy, right? Family members failed him, right? You mean to tell me you never saw him? You never had him over your house. He never took a bath. You never saw the bruises, right? You failed that little boy because I'm sure he told somebody, or I'm sure he was acting kind of funny, kind of withdrawn. I'm sure he was, I'm sure he told somebody. It's always somebody that they'll tell somebody they in a subliminal way. Okay. A lot of times they may be peeing in the bed. Okay. And you be like, boy, you too big to pee in the bed. Okay. That's a sign. Just like we talked about cutting. That's a sign also. Or just not wanting to go back to home with mom. Okay, let's look at his dad. His dad said, was his dad there? Okay, because they said he had bruises and it wasn't new bruises. These bruises were there. So you mean, where was his dad? Did he see the bruises? Sounds like he wasn't there to me. This is what I'm talking about, fathers. You know you have a son. You know she has a new boyfriend. Are you going over there to get to know him? Because I need to know who's over my, just like when, their dad, him and I divorced, but he didn't die right away. But I told him they go over your mom's house. They don't go to your girlfriend's house. When the kids did go, we had rules. Okay. But my thing is, did you get to know him, fellas? Are you meeting him? Just to see, because if you meet a man know a man know another man, if they're abusive or if they're creepy or whatever, a man can tell. I don't care what you tell me. They know. But did he care enough to make sure that his son was good? No. No, he didn't. Where was he at? This is what I'm talking about. We Black folk gotta do better. Our children to be first priority. We so busy trying to date Keisha and date Becky and date Ken and get our freak on with somebody else and knowing we got some stuff that we need to take care of. But we are so busy trying to get in another relationship without making sure our kids are good. Every weekend, that dad should have had that son, or he was big enough to where he could take that son and say, "Okay, you get him on weekends. You had him when he was from 0 to 9, mom. I'm gonna take him from 10 on, and that's when his time is. That's when he's supposed to put his stuff into his son, right?" But that's not what's happening. These men will go weeks, months without seeing their own child. Why? Why is that happening? Where's your love for your son? And then we look at our kids and wonder why they acting crazy. Well, why are you not being there for your son? You know what happened when your dad wasn't there for you, but you're gonna turn around and do the same stuff to your son. Come on, what are we doing here? Nobody saw what was going on with this child. We failed him. Society failed him. The school failed him. His mom is doing, and boys love their moms. So what was going on? Was she abused? Was he abused? The mom, I'm talking about the mom and the boyfriend. Were they abused when they were kids? See, this is another thing. Hurt people hurt. Y'all men know these women, know what they're going through. And you'll sit around there and you'll date them. Okay, if you knew that they were abused, why are we not suggesting that they go to therapy, especially if you're dating these women and you know their dad has abused them? Are we suggesting in love, hey, babe, I want you to go and get some help? I know your dad did whatever. Let's sign up and let's go get some therapy. You can go with her just so she can feel comfortable. We're knowing stuff and we're not even holding anybody accountable for getting help with this stuff. If you really care about somebody and you know that person has gone through some type of trauma, why aren't we getting therapy for this stuff, ladies, gentlemen? We'll sit there and try to deal with the stuff, and then years down the line, because you didn't tucked it, you said, "Oh, it's gone. I dealt with it." You ain't dealt with that because that stuff is still there. Because it comes up every now and again. Every now and again, you'll think about it or have a dream about it, or you sitting up there by yourself one day. "Oh, I don't like to be by myself. I don't like the room to be quiet." Why? Because that stuff gonna come up. Okay, then you need to deal with it. And we're not dealing with our traumas. We're not dealing with Big Mama who was bipolar, who beat the hell out of everybody with switches. We're not dealing with that. But then we go back again, Big Mama was good. Well, that's called bipolarism. If one day Big Mama, you just never know what's going on with Big Mama. You got to look at her and see, okay, Big Mama spoke today, she good. Or then sometimes you go over there and Big Mama cussing everybody out. Come on. That's some stuff. That's Big Mama needs to deal with some stuff. And we have that right to say, we have that right. Because if my mom, hey, let's check out, let's get some check. Or when we have our children and we knew we grew up in that, this is what I need for you to do, young ladies. I need for y'all to, get some counseling, get some tutoring, get some therapy or something. We're not doing that. Why not? We can't deal with stuff. We can't heal ourselves. Sometimes you do need that therapy to talk over some stuff before you start having kids. Because you have children. You already was traumatized. Now what you gonna do? Turn around and do the same thing to your child. Hurt people hurt, right? These topics are so important in our community because we have been dealing with the crazy country that has been treating us like crazy. We don't know any love. We don't know love. We don't know anything but rage. We know anger, hatred, and rage. We know those things from this country because we have felt it so much. So this is what's going on now. We're portraying what the country has shown us. We're portraying it on our children. We don't care about our children. We don't, for real. Because you're giving them to your enemies every day. Because we think it's okay. Because we go to their jobs, we know what they do on our jobs to us, right? But we'll turn around and give them our children every day. That's mental illness, family. And we don't see anything wrong with it. And then our children have to suffer the same thing we suffered with. And the cycle continues. And they treat our boys worse than they do our girls. So what am I saying? What's the next step? Our next step is therapy. We need to do a live on some therapy. What do we do? How do we go about getting the right one? And I'm not saying you got to be therapy for 10 years. Therapy, 6 months maybe. Okay, and then go back. Do a wellness check. Okay, we have to start somewhere. Therapy is so important. And so many Black folks say they're against therapy. Why are you against something that could help you? Why are you against something that could help you to deal with your anger, your rage, your sexual, you know what I'm saying? We all got some stuff now. What are we dealing with? When are we ready? When are we going to deal with our stuff? Because everybody in the Black community has it. We was on a live, or we was in a group the other day, and I was talking about love and how a lot of Black people don't even have a clue on how to love. We have no idea. We really don't know how to be married. We really don't know how to have a healthy relationship. We could say we do, but a lot of time we either stuffing it or we faking it or we are pretending until we, fake until you make it. We're not really dealing with that. That man's not really dealing with his stuff. That woman's not really dealing with her stuff. And you're hiding it when the man is around, and he's hiding his stuff when you're around. So you really not getting to the gist of the marriage. You just hanging on the surface. You know what I'm saying? Because you really don't know how do we get to the second level? What's stopping us from getting to that second level? Did you grow up in an abusive household? Was your dad abusing you? Ladies, sometimes you don't even tell the man that you're dating that happened, and you never deal with it. But then it shows in your relationship. Same thing with men. Was you molested even as a boy? Did your uncle do something to you? Or did your dad or your mom do something to you? Because nowadays, men, women, everybody doing, ain't nobody safe now. I mean, come on, if we really honest, you had some crazy stuff. But where do we get it from? We got it from our captors, our colonizers. That's what they did. That's what they did to little boys on ships when they came from slavery. Some of those men, a whole lot of them men were gay, and they were sleeping with your great granddaddies. Okay, and that stuff, abuse, sometimes abuse, abuse. The next person abuse the next person. Okay, let's be real honest here. And this is stuff we never talk about in our community. How come? I rest my mic.
Facts. My brother Anthony.
Yeah. I want to. Okay, you know what I'm doing? I want to come at the same thing, but just a little bit slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
Now you remember. Well, I'm old enough to remember, and I know Miss Cassidra is. When we were younger, and before then, when a young man was he wanted to date a young lady, he would have to come and meet the whole family.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? He would come out to meet the whole family. He had to meet the father. The father gonna meet him and talk to him. It's the same thing like you were saying, vetting. But he would meet the whole family before he ever went out on a date. You know what I'm saying? With the young lady. The whole family would meet him. And then even back then they had a thing called chaperoning. When you went on a date, y'all didn't go by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Somebody went with you. Dad and mama, they might have sat off somewhere.
The little brother went with you. The little sister went with you. Back
in
the day.
Chaperone thing. So basically what I'm saying, it was a vetting process. Okay. And at the same, and another thing was like back in along at one period of time before now, I'm just saying it any time before now, a man, what a young woman looked for in a man was, was certain qualities that she looked for, and vice versa. He liked certain qualities. You know what I'm saying? And but see, today we live in a time now, and that's what I'm saying. The different angle I was taking, not only from the generation of trauma or the traumas that we grow through, but also from the society. You know what I'm saying? From the society. Now, like I said, at one time, the young man had to meet the father and had to meet the family. They vetted him. But now today, bring it up to today, you got it's the culture of I want a thug Negro. You know what I'm saying? It's the culture of I want a ride or die chick. You know what I'm saying? That kind of, that rough, just the whole thug mentality, the thug man, thug woman, mentality, the gangster stuff. You know what I'm saying? Things that we get from the culture, especially this hip hop culture, was to me just some degenerate garbage. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, okay, when you get with, say, a young lady get with that thug, now this thug dude who rough and everything, rough and tough and do what he do. Like I said, I'm bringing it back around. Okay, why he do what he do? Where he get that from? You know what I'm saying? Where he get that kind of mentality from? Was his father a rough and tough thug? Did his father hand beat downs and whoop everybody? You know what I'm saying? And then the same thing, like with the sister, with the ride or die chick. You know, with the I cut somebody. You know, I stab another sister in the eye with a fingernail file or something. You know what I'm saying? Where did they get that from? Going back to their trauma. Like, no, what they witnessed growing up, in their life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, I think we also had to include the society in it too. You was just talking about a minute ago how this is stuff that we learned from our oppressors. You know what I'm saying? And that goes to like say because we not in our cultural incubator. You know what I'm saying? We're in a new incubator, this American incubator now. We're not in our cultural incubator where we came from. And so when you're not in your cultural incubator, you know what I'm saying? Like Dr. John Henry Clark was saying, I mean, you taking on these same aspects that these people have. You know what I'm saying? You learn the shit from them now, instead of the values that we had, when we was back in our own cultural incubator. And so, I mean, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, I'm just saying, it's the trauma things that happen to us in our lives as children too. I'm not negating that part. Very serious. But what I'm saying is also like this society. You know what I'm saying? This modern society, you know what I'm saying? Like the peer pressure that young people had to go through today. Listen, and especially like the music. You know what I'm saying? Because this thing about this forecast, Sister Cassidra, think about one thing. You got young men who was growing up in high school in the early 2000s who listen to that 50 Cent talking about get rich or die trying. Now, these young kids, they might have been A1 students, good guys. But guess what? They listen to this mess, all this foolishness, and let this music influence them. And now what they want to do, well, I'm going to get rich or die trying. You know what I'm saying? If that means I'm going to go and take another brother's stuff. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with the sisters, they could have been an A1 young lady in school or whatever. But then you got these hoochies like Lil Kim and all these people, training all these people, coming along with all of this old foolishness. You know what I'm saying? I'm tied in with the culture, because peer pressure, at that age, we 12, 13, 14, 15, as 10, we get influenced real quick by peer pressure. We get influenced real quick by that. I could even remember when I was young, man, I was like 19 and stuff. And I remember when the NWA came out. You know what I'm saying? Now, I grew up in a house, man, if I came on to that nigga, this, man, my mom would slap the hell out of me. You know what I'm saying? These Negroes came around and had everybody in the neighborhood talking about nigga this, nigga that, all of those foolishness. You know what I'm saying? And you know what come along with that? All the other bull crap that they rapped about. So I'm saying that peer pressure, that the culture, the society, I think it plays a big part in it too, as well as the traumas. I'll leave it right there.
Yeah.
But even with that, let me just say one thing. But even with that, we have to understand we could have shut that down. Whose fault is that? That's our fault. The music, that's our fault. We allowed it as parents. We allowed our children to listen to such degrading music with who's some of the Megan Thee or whatever. I don't even Cardi B and all this stuff. We allowed that. We see, our babies popping to some of Cardi B's disgusting music. I bet she won't let her daughter listen to that music, but you allowed your child to. You know what I'm saying? So, and then of course the TVs, the movies, that every black movie has what? Thugs, hoes, and drugs in it, right? Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So that's our fault, because when we saw what kind of movies that they were showing, we could have shut that TV off. We could have shut our entertainers off. You can't give us no better music than that. We're not listening to you, but we didn't do that. And we still don't. And the music is getting worse and worse and worse. And when you have a group of people that have no morals, it's bad now. It's horrible out here now. You got a whole,
like I said, my mom would have slapped the hell out of me.
Of course. And look at what they're teaching our kids in school. All this masturbation, touching this, same sex, this is okay. Reading books to let your son know that it's okay to have you and Don and John and Don as parenting, and they're parenting a little. This is what this is what we are allowing them to teach our children. They don't teach their children that, because their children in charter schools, their children in private schools. But we will sit up there and allow them to teach our children that. Whose fault is that? That's our fault. That's our fault. We drop the ball, parents. We drop the ball, and we're continuing to drop the ball because we're not pulling our children out of their schools and creating our own. So this is our fault. We can't blame nobody but us right now. We can't blame them. They're doing exactly what they were put on this earth to do. You have to blame yourself, because we're allowing them. We still allowing them to educate our babies.
Yeah, we fought to go to school.
Watch them disgusting movies where you got men sleep with men now. Okay, and they watching this faithfully. Come on. We got the music talking about, my baby daddy. What's the Miss Red, or what's the red lady name? The singer Red. Come on. Sexy Red. Come on. Now you know what? Her music is disgusting. But you still got your children listening to that garbage. That's garbage. So whose fault is it? We can't get better if we constantly going deeper and deeper and deeper because our oppressor said it's okay. No, it's not okay. They're not letting their children hear that mess. You think they letting their children listen to Sexy Red? Okay. I don't hear none of their music as disgusting as ours. Do you? I mean, let's just be real and let's be honest here. No. So this is our fault. So if we want to fix this, we can fix it. We can separate for one. We can pull our monies together and buy our own land. You got a girl, Radio Cafe. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, she's in Georgia. You buying land for $1,000. Okay, she's building a whole community. Only thing with that, I think she's putting, adding other people in it. But there's other people that with land that you can buy from that's doing it just strictly Black folk. Okay, that's what we need to be doing. But we're not doing it. Why? We need to be holding our entertainers accountable. We're not doing it. Why? Because I don't want to judge nobody. Well, yeah, I do. I want to judge all of them because I'm tired of what I'm seeing, and I see it going down, 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 and we're not stopping it. Our boys right now, I don't know, but our babies, honey, it's terrible. You got more boys walking around here switching, and I'm like, I can't even tell. You see a girl walking and the guy walking, I can't tell who the boy and who the girl. I can't tell. Sometimes I got to look to see who got the poopies and who. I mean, I'm just saying, this is crazy. What's going on with us as parents? We're not getting on them. We're not seeing nothing. Your son come home. He 12 years old. Telling me he gay. Oh, my baby gay. What the hell you mean you gay? You ain't even had no poo-poo yet, did you? What's going on? How come you don't know what is going on in your house? Why do we know that? Why do we have a 12-year-old or 7-year-old or 18 or 8-year-old telling us we gay? What is that about? You understand what I'm saying? You ain't even had no poo-poo. So how you know you gay? Who told you that? Your school, what, you read a book about Dan and Mike? Okay. That's what they're doing to our children. They're confusing the hell out of our children, and we're allowing it. That's our fault. How can we heal? We got to separate. We got to get away from them. We got to start investing in our own land, our own homes. We have to separate from them as soon as possible because it's not going to get no better because they'll pour it into you. Then they back up, throw the rock back up and let you take the rock and you run with it. Then they pay our Black entertainers to make it as nasty as they can, right? And we should be blaming our entertainers. You mean to tell me you're going to take that money from them and this is what you pouring into our community? We ought to be shutting them down. We need to hold them accountable, and we're not. See, so this thing is bigger than this thing is a whole balloon. It's huge. And it's getting ready to bust any minute now. This thing is terrible. It's horrible. Look at the schools. It's wild kingdom up in them schools on purpose. Don't we understand that? We still don't get it. The only way we're going to heal is for us to separate totally. And then people say, Cassie, you talking about taking it back? Yes, I'm telling you to take it back to where we shouldn't have never left. Ain't no way in the world we should have came together with them. Of course, you're going to take on their characteristics. That's why your ancestors separated you, because they knew stay separate, because they're never going to accept you. The universe said they'll have a perpetual hatred for us. Perpetual means continuously. They don't even know why they hate you. They don't even know why they hate you. They just hate you. That's crazy. You ain't even have a reason to hate me. You just hate me because I woke up this morning. But we know that. But what are we doing about it? See, your kids on there twerking. What Ross say? Ross say social media are acting like grown women, twerking and rolling. I'm just saying, we have to stop. We got to put some stuff we have to shut it down.
Yeah,
we got to shut it down. Go ahead, forecast.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I agree with you. And we gonna go to the next one, but I'll say this. Yeah, I agree with what y'all saying, and it's like a deer or something trying to live with a lion. Even if the lion stopped being a lion and accepted the deer, and the deer would get sick eating the food that the lion eats and living the life that a lion eats. Like, it just doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? And to like my brother Anthony's point, before when I forgot what I was gonna say, but oh yeah, with my parents, right? Like even with my friends, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to like not even a girl or nothing. Like if I wanted to go to my friend's house, my parents like would meet their parents, you know what I'm saying? And like stuff like that. But and one last thing to that part to what we was just talking about, that is another topic, so I'm not even gonna go on it. But and consider you mentioned it a little bit, right? Because we also talk about like a lot of this stuff with this whole gay stuff, you know, and the black community. I don't know about any of that stuff, and they making like whatever, but at the same time, right? Like you have to question like what is going on like with these young children, and then if we not addressing that or making some kind of consequences or it's some kind of punishment, or we're allowing it to happen, then we can't turn around and be like, oh well, look at this whatever, because apparently, you know, there is violations that go on that we know comes all the way back from, like she said, you know, them raping little boys and doing this to grown men and to other people. And then from generation to generation, we pass it down, you know. And let's not forget a part of that jail culture we was talking about, like what happens in jail, you know what I'm saying? They just tell you, you know, don't drop the soap, you know what I mean? Like that it was so all of that is a part of it. And I understand, like, because I was gonna say, like, I've known women, right, who's been cool with gay people, and then they be like, man, it's disgusting. Like, you never know what dude is what, because it be dudes with families that you never guess, and they be like, man, this dude be messing with a gay dude on the low, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll be like, that's crazy. Like, even when they tell me the stories, like, yo, I know women that they found out that their dude was tripping, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, that's a whole nother thing. But it goes back to like what may have happened to them. I don't know if it happens from birth or not. I don't know. I ain't no scientist, but you know what I'm saying?
I
I
guarantee
do
you
know.
don't. God, if it happens at birth, you trying to tell me the universe make mess. God don't make mess. Okay, he don't make mess. That's not. No. But you can understand about the down low. You can see what goes on in prisons. Okay, and a lot of the guys come out of jail. What happened? And this is your society. They know what they're doing. You put a bunch of guys. Give me 45 years. What you think I'm gonna do? I ain't no woman up in there. What you think I'm gonna do? They do that on purpose. They know what they're doing. They know dang well what they doing. That man come out and he just as gay as he want, but they don't consider it gay. It's a whole jail thing going on up there. And then they come downstairs and they have a visit with their wife, as they didn't slept with their man upstairs. And now you come down and now you know what I'm saying. So I'm just saying. Then you get out of jail. Now you know you with your wife, but you just been with a man the whole 20 years, right? And now here you is with your wife and your son, okay? And you looking at your son because your son look better than your woman because you didn't been with your man for 20 years. You have to understand this. This stuff we don't talk about enough in our community. We got to this has to be a conversation that we have a whole lot more often than not.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, yeah, so and that's just the thing, because that's a whole nother topic, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to get off, but that's a part of what we was just watching, because you know, this child, you know, you never know the trauma that child is going to have growing up, and what may or may not do. And then, you know, the sociopath, because your environment, it does create, and that's why they create environments like they do for us to keep us in the situation, you know. But like you said, you know, because one thing that they cannot have is like black men and women on the same page, ready to fight, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they plan for. But
And
like you said, it's
on
up to
purpose.
us.
Yep, that's on purpose. Even with the little boy, we heard how he was violated. The little boy, they said his anal tore, you know. So what was happening? And they said that happened after he died. So what we got going on here? We got some okay. This happened after he died. So you raping him when he's dead? What are we doing? See, you have to understand, we're not putting two and two together. Where did this dude come from? Did he come from jail? Who was he? Nobody is vetting these mates that we coming up with. We're not vetting the men, and the men not vetting the women. You finding out afterwards. There's some stuff where you found out women was killing the babies of these men. Is one story where they were married, and the baby, you know, the girlfriend killed the baby because the baby was getting too much. You know, it wasn't even her baby. It was somebody else's baby, his you know ex-girlfriend. And then the baby was coming over visiting, or you know, and the girlfriend ended up killing the baby. That's happened. But why aren't we noticing this stuff? And the dad act like he didn't know what she doing. Oh, the baby's with so and so, but you didn't understand. You didn't have a relationship with your daughter. So when you come home, you're not seeing how she's acting with this woman, because I'm sure she's showing some signs of abuse, but we're not paying attention. We want to blame them for what's going on with their life, and they're trying to tell you subliminally that this is going on at home when you're not here. But we so busy, trying to chastise and discipline and not pay attention to our children's actions.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, let me show y'all the next one. Cause I don't want to keep y'all on here all night. Now I ain't got them in order. This one a little different. We're gonna go back to like some of the other ones. This is just the next one. All right. Now, this young brother was killed by the cops. You know what I'm saying? Because this is another part of like protecting our children. You know what I'm saying? Now you say he's like charging a deputy with bladed garden tool, like a rake. It's called it a bladed garden tool. Like he got a bunch of knives tied on a rake or something. You know what I'm saying? And he got autism, by the way. So, it goes back to like with men, like there used to be something where we could call where children had protection.
Certainly did not expect this outcome. It is a heartbreaking case for everyone involved.
Where's he at?
It happened in a matter of seconds.
Hey, get back! Get back! You're gonna get shot!
15-year-old Ryan Gaynor, armed with a gardening tool, is shot and killed on Saturday just before 5 p.m. in Apple Valley.
They called asking law enforcement for help that they had received before.
DeWitt Lacey is representing Ryan's family. He says the 15-year-old was autistic and was having an episode.
There had been other occasions where the family had reached out to the sheriff's department, and the sheriff's department followed their training, which is they de-escalated incidents where they had made encounters or contacts with Ryan.
He's breaking the window. Hold up, ma'am.
During the 911 call, a family member explains Ryan is hitting his sister.
They got to take him in. They got to.
When San Bernardino Sheriff's deputies arrived in the 13,400 block of Iroquois Road, they gave Ryan an order, but he didn't listen.
Almost instantly, when the officer or the deputy sees Ryan, he pulls out a gun and he points it at him and says, "Stop or I'm going to shoot you." Well, maybe that works with some folks, with folks who are experiencing some type of manic or episode due to autism or some other a mental disorder or behavioral disorder. It could escalate things.
Still kind of a shock, just because he was such a little kid.
Neighbors who spoke with us say they remember Ryan as a quiet kid.
Wow, he seemed like he was a sweet kid, because he would wave, he would talk to me every once in a while, he would talk to my daughter.
San Bernardino Sheriff Shannon Dicus issued a statement that says in part, "Our deputies handle seemingly unsurmountable calls daily. Most of these calls do not end in violence. However, this one ended in tragedy for Ryan, his family, and for the deputies who responded. Rapidly evolving violent encounters are some of the most difficult, requiring split-second decisions. While these decisions are lawful, they are awful in terms of our humanity. I feel for both Ryan's family and my deputies who will struggle with this for their entire lives."
I ask everyone and the officers to consider. He's a 15-year-old teen with a gardening tool. You should be able
a bladed garden tool. Hey, look at this. He said they'll struggle with it for the rest of their lives, their humanity, quote unquote.
Yeah, right.
It's bullshit.
Did you see how the officer went? Show it again. Did you see how the officer went in the house? Where at? Oh, you was already coming there to do something. Did you see that? Play that again, 410. Just look at this.
In the 13,400 block of Iroquois Road, they gave Ryan an order.
He didn't hear it. Go back a little more on forecast. I think went all the way back.
Ryan.
He's breaking the window.
Okay, right there.
911 call. A family member explains Ryan is hitting his sister.
They got to take him in. They got to.
When San Bernardino Sheriff's deputies arrived in the 13,400 block of Iroquois Road, they gave Ryan an order, but he didn't listen.
Almost instantly, when the officer or the deputy sees Ryan, he pulls out a gun and he points it at him and says, "Stop or I'm going to shoot you." Well,
I think we missed it. I don't know when he first got there. When the officer, right there, maybe back there, right there.
For everyone.
Okay, right there. Let's try that.
It happened in a matter of seconds.
Hey, get back! Get back! You're getting shot!
15
Yeah, he was in there at the beginning right there. He was in the house.
I see, but I don't know what part it was when the officer said, where you at? And that's when he pulled it. But you couldn't have shot him in the leg. You couldn't have tased him. I don't see how them shooting any white autistic boys like this. That's the thing. So when you always come to my house, you got to have a gun in your hand. No.
Yeah.
That's, come on. No. That's not good enough. This is how we as parents, and I'm sure that mom is feeling horrible. I think she was going through a medical episode too at her, I think she's in a wheelchair or something, because they later said that the officers even took her in, and she was in the wheelchair and kind of fell out the wheelchair and stuff. So something's going on with the mom. But my thing is, if you have to, and you understand your son is at that level and you know that you can't handle him, then you have to make other arrangements. Seriously. There's just no excuse, And I'm not blaming the mom. I'm just saying, when you know that you're in a wheelchair and you know your son has those episodes, other things need to be arranged. He might need to be somewhere else, where trained people can handle that. You can't handle that if you're in a wheelchair and he has an episode out the blue or whatever was done. Because, kids do stuff to kids. He's been in that house forever. That's his sister. So what was the reason behind this episode? There's always a reason behind an episode. Was it something, maybe she, went up to him and did something or whatever? I'm not saying, I'm not blaming, I'm not trying to blame anybody. I'm just saying other things could have been done for this not to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, you trust in the police officer, but was this officer, was he new? How long had he been on the force? Had he ever met Ryan? Did he know Ryan? Did he know that this is what this kid does? Was it planning? Okay, the next time we go to Ryan's house, we're gonna, make sure we're gonna take our tasers or we're gonna shoot him in. I mean, come on, we gotta do something more besides always kill somebody. It's gotta be another way for these episodes and incidents to be handled. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it was another way of dealing with him besides shooting him and killing him. You just murdered him.
Yeah, I agree with that. My brother Anthony, you want to say something?
Yeah, man. They got this thing called, it's a beanbag. You could have shot the beanbag at him.
Okay, something.
The beanbag, you could have shot the beanbag at him. The beanbag would have stunned him. You know what I'm saying? And I think that police officer just wanted to kill somebody.
Right, I believe so too.
He wanted to kill somebody, and it's like, you remember last time I think the last time I was telling y'all about when I lived in Georgia, about I stayed next door. It was a young brother stayed next door. He like 12, 13 years old, named TJ, and he had mental problems. Remember the one I was telling you about? His parents was drug addicts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we had drugs. When parents drug addicts, and how the effect of those drugs on a child, with a child when he's born. So right. he had mental disabilities. He had disabilities, and he got a problem growing up now. I mean, hitting his little sister, even attacked his mama. And when his daddy had disciplined him, I mean, not his daddy, but he was actually he's his adoptive dad, but actually he's his grandfather. Like he disciplined him, but that boy went and called the police and told him that his daddy, told the police that his daddy abused him, and the police came and they put the dad out the house.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And so, but I'm just saying, that we got to focus also on that part right there. The mental problems, stemming from from drug abuse and stuff like that. From the parents, and how that affects children. Because the mental problem is those mental problems. I got a young man still across the street from me right now. He's 31 years old. His name is Pat, and he got those mental problems too. Yeah, those too. And sometimes, he'd do stuff like, some crazy stuff, and I had to go over and talk to him and try to help, try to bring him back around. You know, I found out. I found out his mama had the same problems.
Okay.
It sounded like it was a family thing.
Yeah.
The police came one day. Man, the police came over there one day. And I had to, go over there, talk to him. Hey, look, man, he kind of got some problems. You know what I'm saying? They didn't draw down on it, but he got some problems, man. And because he lived by himself over there,
Wow.
and it really wasn't nobody around to tell them, hey, look, this the deal, man.
Right. Yeah.
This the deal. Because they could have easily came over there and did the same thing to him.
Right. What happens one day when you're not there? Does the police department know that this kid lives here? I'm talking about the new officers. Do the new officers know that, hey, sometime we may be called out to Ryan's house? How are we going to handle that? This is stuff that needs to be discussed, even with the people in the neighborhood. What if you're not there? Who's going to talk to the officers when they see this young man acting out and you're not around? Other neighbors besides you need to be saying, speaking up.
This is one thing I'm saying, though. Anytime for as far as these police concerned, anytime you hear that it's a person with a mental problem, or if it's a person that don't have a gun, because a gun can shoot you back. But I'm saying anything other than the gun, like I said, that beanbag will hit them and stun them.
Right, and that's what they should.
You don't have to go. I'm gonna kill you.
Right.
I'm gonna shoot.
Right. Because he had enough room to, when the boy came around the corner, he could have stunned him right then. He had enough room, to where he didn't have to, the little object or whatever. But he was probably scared, Those people are very strong. You know what I'm saying? When they're very strong people. But I still think that we as parents have to put things in place so stuff like that don't happen. Especially when we know the police officers we're dealing with, you call them the police. I guess before they had a good, but you could have a new officer, like who knows how long that could have been a new officer, one that was racist. Okay. You just happened to be blessed before, but things should have been in place so this won't happen to your child. If I have to call the police, they're going to understand, look, this is Ryan. Y'all know Ryan, and sometimes you could take them, it's just different ways that we could have, that could have been handled, parent wise, but then again, I would never call the police for nothing. I wouldn't ever call them ever. I'm going to handle it myself because I already know what we dealing with when we dealing with them,
Hey, you know what that made me think about right now? Y'all remember this? Remember, it was this happened around the time that young brother Laquan McDonald got killed in Chicago. Okay, but all right, remember this? It was right the same time. Well, it was at this house in Chicago. It was at this home where the people, they called the police because the young man in the house was having some mental issues, and he was getting aggressive, like with family members. The police came to the house. The grandmother who had called the police came out, opened the door, came outside, and the police killed her.
Wow, are you serious?
Police shot a 55-year-old grandmother. Okay, she called the police. So I mean, what I'm saying, I'm tired of it back. Like you say, I would never call the police on anything. You know what I'm saying? Not on my family, because they came there. They came there with guns drawn and shot the grandmother.
And shot the grandma. Ain't that something? No questions.
Open the door and walk through the door. Yeah, and they shot and killed her.
I'm just refusing to deal with that. And I think we as Black people have to have our own 811, just like white folk call it 911. We call our 811. And I'm talking about soldiers. I'm talking about ex-military that know and they're not afraid and they can talk people down, give them that training. But I believe that we have to have our own people to call instead of calling them. I don't ever believe in calling them.
Yeah. And I'm putting it back to what you said in the first place, because it need to be us, the men in the family.
Exactly. And the men in the family. Yep. So
that we need to be the 811.
Right. Exactly. The men, we can employ our men in our neighborhood. They already don't want to give you guys jobs. So let's employ our men in the community. When we build our own community, that we're going to have the military men and men that we can put through training to protect our community. So we never have to call 911 ever. It shouldn't ever be a time that we call them, because we already know that they're gun happy. And when they come, somebody's going to die. And we know that. Here we go again, protecting our people, protecting our children. And that family failed to do that because you feel so comfortable that these people had your back. And now your son is dead. That happened to another lady. Was she a congresswoman, or she was in some kind of political position, and they shot her. They killed her son. She was maybe what is it's not maybe she wasn't a mayor. She wasn't what do you call those? They're not the mayor, but they're kind of city council. You know what I'm saying? Okay, she was one of them, and her son was autistic. She called the police, okay, and her son the same way, same thing. He got shot, and they killed him. And she said, "I never." And I'm looking at her like, "Now you should have known better than that. You city council, you ain't heard all them, all them deaths that was going on. You know what I'm saying? You don't ever have to call them." And this is how we should be doing in our community. All of this is whose fault? Here I go again. All of this could be avoided. Whose fault is what's going on in our community? Whose fault is it? It's our fault because we are not putting things in place to protect our babies. Our kids are dying on these streets like crazy. We're not doing anything about it. What are we doing about it? And why? See, here we go. This is a whole conversation. Stuff is happening in our community, and we just sitting back looking, wait for the next one to die. Well, Bubba over there, he's so bad, he gonna die next, and that's what we say. I've heard it. You see the one that, man, he over there selling them drugs. That's Sadie's son. He's selling them drugs. Okay, Sadie, what you doing about your son selling them drugs? You knew about it, and you know about it, but because he paying your electric bill, you gonna let him? Come on, Sadie, we got to put up with your child. And that's when the men in the community need to go and check that young brother. These boys, these young men. If you gonna come in our community, you got to follow the rules. We're not finna do this up in our community because that means you selling to your own up in the community. We're not finna do that. So that should be a no right there.
And I think that there are some of us that are doing it, but it's not enough of us doing it.
Well, it's not enough.
Well, I'm saying because like in Detroit, Cleveland, and in Atlanta, when I lived in Atlanta, they got these brothers called New Era.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Hey, and them brothers is putting it down. And what I'm just saying, I'm saying, and though it's a bad situation now, but this give props to the brothers who are doing something too, though.
Yes. I remember.
And they really doing it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So therefore, if New Era is doing in Detroit, New Era needs to be having a North Carolina base. They need to have a South Carolina base. Virginia base, nationwide. You know what I'm saying? They got to expand it. You can't have something in Detroit and know that it's needed countrywide. Okay, that stuff needs to be expanded and having those meetings, and whether they're Zoom meetings and having the trainings. And this is gonna be our defense. And we're gonna call New Era when something like this go down, and that could be who we call. That's what we need to be doing. But why is it that we just doing it in one area when we have a whole slew of Black community across the world? Why aren't we doing it across the world, across the yard?
It takes people like me and you and Forecast and others to spread that word too.
Yeah, exactly. And you have me cheating. It's some people that's talking about New Era. So yeah, I've looked them up before because I want to partner with them for some stuff as far as foundation was concerned. So but yeah, so we just have to get back to protecting us and understanding and putting things in place. And when we see stuff like this is a tragedy. It's really a tragedy that didn't need to happen. If we put stuff in place to stop this stuff, we should never have to call the police. We have too many military men that's retired doing absolutely nothing that we can have them patrolling our neighborhoods, patrolling our areas, keeping us safe. So all we have to do is call, I don't know what you want to call them, the 811, or, we call our 811. We don't call their 911 for anything. And then when our military men are patrolling and they walk in the block and they see Betty's son over there on the corner selling that stuff, you're going to take Betty's son to the back and you're going to handle some business with it. You understand? And you're going to visit some homes where we know that you have boys that are alone and their dads are doing the job. Then we got to come together and we got to get them fathers together too and say, hey, dude, your son over there doing so. Let's go over there and have a powwow. And you got to keep that father engaged, okay? So it's not the son's problem. It's the dad who's not spending time with his son, and he's got to do this in order to bring money in the house, and his mom has to settle for that, her son possibly dying because she's, having her little issues and stuff and not making enough money. So she knows he's doing his dirt, but she needs him in order to make ends meet. But she shouldn't have to go through that because the dad is right across the street who he's seen his son out there and refuse to check that behavior because I ain't been there. Well, why haven't you been there? Let's check that behavior. Dad, I'm gonna need you to check in on your son every now and then. Okay, let's make sure you get your son. Maybe you keep him a week and give the mama a break, and you have him on the weekends. I'm just saying these are things that we can do in our community to build our community to make it safe. Because a lot of times it's because of dad's not there. So if I'm there in your life, there's no reason for you to be doing this, because I'm going to see that behavior and I'm going to check that behavior when you 10, 11, and 12. And now you're not 15, 16, 17 acting a damn fool out here because I didn't check that behavior when you were 7, 8, and 9 when I seen it coming up.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So all of this, we can put stuff in place. It's just that I don't know why we're not doing it. Maybe somebody can help me to understand why we're not doing it. We know how. Why aren't we doing it? Forecast. What do you think? Why aren't we doing it?
Why aren't we doing it? Well, right now, I don't. Okay, I'm gonna watch what I say, because last time I said it, it turned out to be bad. But right now, while I do have more faith in the younger people, especially like under like 18 and all of that stuff, I think that I do understand, because I come from the 80s and stuff like that. I seen what it was like when you had so many people without their fathers. And like I said, I think a certain generation dropped the ball, like when we lost our teachers, we lost our male role models. You know what I'm saying? I'm not blaming us necessarily, I'm just saying. And then we lost our courage, because when you start looking at leaders, they'd be like, oh, well, look at what happened to Martin Luther King. Look at what happened to Malcolm X. They just killed us. And then now you're like, well, if we say something, they'd be like, oh, well, they just going to get us. They just going to do this. Well, it doesn't matter. And then since then, we have had so many white bitches as our teachers, you know what I'm saying? And they instill in us, you know what I'm saying, a whole bunch of stuff that we don't need to be learning. And we have no more communication, you know what I'm saying? And it's like they have all these programs set up to dilute the conversations between black people in America, but they specifically seen, I personally think that integration was their move to stop black unity from burning down America, you know what I'm saying, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And I think, and that, so I think that's a big part of it. And now we are full of like people who don't know who we are, who are cowards. And then I also think that we have a larger aspect of ourselves who like always go all the way back to where we always gotta love and be like, oh well, I don't hate nobody, I just want, you know what I'm saying, this and that, you know what I'm saying. Well, that, to be honest with you, like, we didn't start this war, but it is what it is, you know what I'm saying. You're gonna have to face reality, you know what I mean. And I think that we have to adjust, and we don't necessarily have to love everybody and teach everybody around the world and stuff like that. If they don't know how to take a bath, oh well. If they have the black plague,
just
oh
stay
well.
on your side of town smelling like that.
Right. But black people is like, no, that is wrong. Injustice anywhere is injustice. No, forget all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only injustice is us not holding ourselves down and putting
Exactly.
ourselves at the top. You know what I'm saying? So until we figure that out, it's like, they said it, Amos Wilson used to say it about what it is now. And I think that in 20 years, a problem is going to be like mulatto babies in Africa, like even to have Chinese babies and to have Asian
Oh
and
my
have
God, that's
African
gonna be
babies
another
going to be a
story
problem.
there.
Yeah. So
Yes.
like the next
Yes.
generation of us is going to be having that conversation about them,
Yes. Oh my God.
Mhm.
Ooh, that's gonna be a mess right there. That's a conversation. Ooh, Lord, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. Oh, all
That
right.
was,
So
that was deep right there, podcast.
huh?
That was deep. I agree with you 100%, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like what
Absolutely.
it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just like, because if you say black people need to do this, oh Lord, you know what I'm saying? They's gonna do this to us, you know what I'm saying? Because they
Who has
see
time
they're
to think like
heroes.
that though?
Hey, y'all know what, Miss Cassette, forecast? I was talking to my mom one day. I'm sorry, man. I ain't meaning to cut you off.
No, you all right, go ahead.
I was talking to my mom one day, and we were just talking, just sitting down shopping up. I went to go see her. You know what? I told her, cause see, my mama, I love that woman so much, man. But she growed up, in that old time religion in the church and everything. I
Didn't they
mean,
all?
yeah. But we like, I mean, she coming around to a lot of things. But we were sitting down talking, and we was talking about white folks and about integration and all stuff like that. And I don't know, I don't know how we came up. We was talking about white. I told my mama. I say every day, and I look in the mirror. I get up and I say how much I talk. I tell myself how much I hate them. I hate them people.
Mm-hmm.
I despise everything about them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I mean, I despise. I'm telling you, I despise them. That's how I really feel. I despise them. I mean, if they disappear from the earth, that'll be the happiest day of my life.
I tell you, it couldn't come soon enough.
It'll come soon, and then after them, the Arabs too.
Oh, take them all. Everybody don't look like us.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean,
but
all of
them anyway, so we ain't got to worry about nothing. In another few years, they're gonna be gone anyway if our men don't help them out and reproduce.
But I tell my mama, I mean, my mama, we said, and she like, well, Anthony, you can't hate people. You can't hate people. I said I can hate my enemies. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I say my enemies hate me. They hate me. You know what I'm saying? We talking. I say, well, I had to break it down. I had to say, well, look, mama, shake this. Because see, I say, mama, you growed up during that era. You growed up. You was a teenager when Dr. Martin Luther King got killed.
We would think that they would know better. You know what I'm
saying? Malcolm X. But it's that. Hey, but when you get taught that. Hey, when you getting taught, look here, Marcus Garvey had the same problem. He said, hey, Harriet Tubman, Queen Mother Harriet Tubman had the same problem. What she said, if I could convince these Negroes that they were slaves, you know what I'm saying?
I would think that they was like, I'll never forget,
But it's the indoctrination. You see, I'm bringing it back to this right here. One thing that we have to deal with today. Okay, it's what we could say. We think they should know better, but we got to deal with the mindset of our people today. See, the first thing we got to work on is the mindset.
Yeah.
And get their mind right. Look here, remember Dr. Bobby Wright said this right here. He said, it ain't but one fight left. One fight, just one. And that's the fight for the black man.
You ain't lying. Oh my God.
When you get the mind right, everything else that we talking about comes along with it.
Well, Anthony,
first you got to get the mind right. How are we gonna look around and how in what world, in what universe that a white bitch come and kill my son or kill my brother, and I go look here, and I go in court and could I hug you?
God, Lord.
You know what I'm saying? If that had been me, I'd have been caught a charge because when I got close to her, I'd have tried to strangle the shit out of her. I try to pick a bitch's ear off or something. You know what I'm saying? What universe you can't get a hug and a judge and everything? I mean, I'd have strung up. I'd try to strangle both of them.
Oh my God, that was.
So what I'm saying, it's the mindset. It's the mindset.
But wait a minute. But I grew. We went to the school. Okay, some got that mindset and some don't. How do we decipher who has that mindset, and how did you get that mindset of, how did you get your mindset? How did your mom get my mom? Because I'm looking at them and some of them at that, they coons and you look at them and you go, how did you get there? I saw the same treatment.
But consider it's in multiple ways, right? Number one, right? Because even I joke with my mom, right? I joke with her and be like, yo, you think the white man's ice is colder? You know what I'm saying? I think a part of it is they go to their school, they be like, oh yeah, this white person looked at me nice one day and smiled at me. And then, you know what I'm saying? But then you get the other side where you see the trauma we've been talking about, where the dudes that come on here and be like, yo, what about your mom? Or forget my mom. They'll be like, F my mom. You know what I'm saying? You know how bad your mom got to be to but when you look at stories we've been talking about, you know what I'm saying? All of that plays a part, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they be out there with nothing but rednecks, you know what I'm saying? And they got their children oh, I got to send them to the best schools. What's the best schools? A white Christian school that'll pick on a 2-year-old baby. You know what I'm saying?
That's so stupid to me. That's so stupid to me. You know how they treat you on these jobs, and you'll go and take your baby to an all-white anything. Oh my God, that's so disgusting.
But
so disgusting.
But the problem is though, I think black people don't want to know the true answer about what it is. Ross said, we have to put in the work. But the truth is, right? If you ask yourself, what happened to all of the black leaders who was really about black people. But then
Mhm.
ask yourself, what if that happened to all of the white leaders who led the campaigns against us? Like, what would the situation be if it was reversed? You know what I'm saying? And then maybe if you reverse it, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's a whole nother conversation. But
Right.
all right. So let's do this so this whole thing
Okay.
don't be too long. I'm gonna play the last couple ones. If you want to say something though, jump in. But so these was the last couple ones, right? So getting back to like what we was talking about. Let me see which one should I play. Um, I got a feeling like I guess this one, and I'm gonna play the next couple ones together unless y'all want to say something. It's like commercials on. You know how much money you make off like black bloodshed, like it's crazy.
Police say a 7-year-old Bronx girl who was murdered, the people close to her were responsible for her death. Moments ago, we heard from her dad about these alarming allegations. CBS 2's Thalia Perez is live in the Mott Haven section of the Bronx with our top.
Dana, it's been nearly a year since police found little Julicia Battis unconscious inside the apartment she shared here with her mother and her half-brother. Her family says it's been a long wait for today's rest. Among the grieving relatives, the 7-year-old's father.
I'm grateful that it came to this because a lot of people don't get closure or justice.
Police say Julicia
What?
Battis' lifeless body was found with blunt force trauma to her stomach and trauma to her face and arms on August 10th.
The investigation revealed between August 8th, 2021 and August 10th, 2021, Julissa was beaten and died while in the care of her mother and half-brother in their apartment.
Her mother, 36-year-old Navazia Jones, and her half-brother, 18-year-old Paul Fine, are both charged with her murder. They were both walked out of the 40th precinct today. Julius's mom, Yolanda Davis, the 7-year-old's grandmother, told CBS 2 last year that Julicia had lived with her since birth. Davis said Julicia should have never been returned to her mother. Meanwhile, her dad says today's arrests are a step in the right direction.
Even though I got to live with this, I still have my daughter in my heart.
My granddaughter was a beautiful
You know, some told me to play it. I'm sorry, I can't even like. Why do like black people always like associate with like thank God and like with my anything to do with like my child's death? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. You know,
Maybe he said that to make himself feel comfortable because my thing is, if the girl was living with the grandma since birth, why was she there in the first place? Let's get to that. Why was she there not with her dad? Right? You feel me? Why wasn't she with, where was her mom at her birth? What happened in that house and you had to take that baby in the first place? Let's look at that, okay? Because the mama looked crazy anyway, okay? Yeah. And then you got an 18-year-old son, and then this girl was 7, okay? So why was she taken in the first place, okay? Probably with some abuse. That's why the grandma had her. But why didn't the dad have her, and who returned her back to the mama? And how come the dad didn't fight to get his daughter or say, no, you're not getting my child? You know what I'm saying? He didn't step up. So now you got to deal with that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely I agree with you. You know, it's crazy because like what, like how,
Why
like
didn't the
you said,
grandmother fight for that daughter to say, no, you're not getting her. You're not taking her to mama's house. She's been here since birth and she's 7. No, we're not going. When she gets a little older, if she want to go visit, she can. But right now, we're not taking it. No. And I would have fought that.
yeah, but like you could see in the mom's face,
The mom
like
was crazy. You could tell.
yeah, and it don't make sense, right? Like, and then like, why would this brother here? He's supposed to be the dad. He don't look crazy. I don't know what the hell is wrong with him. See, this is another issue. I'm trying to find the brother.
The uncle, the brother, yeah, the brother.
No, he said this was the dad.
Stepbrother.
No, he's the father of the kid, and
he's
the
the father. But why wasn't she with him? See, this is what we're not doing. We're not protecting our babies. When we know something, and you know that child said something to somebody, who failed that child? Who dropped the ball? The grandma? Somebody dropped the ball. You're not going to tell me this abuse happened in one day. So they got her on the 8th and killed her on the 8th. Come on now.
Man.
Got a lot of stuff going on with our culture.
Yeah, I don't know.
Put it in my heart.
My granddaughter was a beautiful child that did not deserve what she had gotten. And so for that, I asked God to give me justice for her. And he has done
Well,
just
you should have
that.
protected her. She wouldn't be dead.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, why in the like? It's just all too often. Like, you know what to be like. You know, like that. My child isn't dead. You know what I'm saying in the first place. Like, we talking about, oh yeah, because we don't get justice. Like, no, like y'all, it's no more casualties. Especially like not my child. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the world?
It's crazy.
Like, how docile can we be? Like, he's on the news. Like, why would he even be saying this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I I might be tripping though, but what you think, Anthony?
No, you ain't tripping. You right on point. Yeah, man, that's some bullshit, man. I'm like, that's some bullshit. I remember, I think it was back in around 80, probably around 80, 88, 89, man. I remember it's a brother who I knew, man, when I lived on in another part of town in Shreveport. We lived in, and like, you know how you move to another neighborhood, you know, get new friends. Well, I had one friend, man, he was a cool brother with me, and but you know, he got involved in them drugs, man. Him and his old lady, they got involved in them drugs, and like he like they had children, they had some small children, and they ended up, you know, like, you know, when you own, they call themselves chastising the children, man, whipping the children. And man, I don't know, this fool was on these drugs, man, and they was beating this child, man. They beat that child and killed that baby, man. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, you know, he did time behind that, which he should have. What I'm saying, and she did too, because I think it was mostly her. Like, I mean, you know, these was toddlers. It was a toddler, man. It wasn't like a big baby. It was a toddler. You know, and they ended up doing time behind that, man. I was just like, no, I mean, I seen him years later. I always wanted to ask him, man, you know, but I didn't. I didn't do it. But I'm like, I'm just wondering, man, what possessed your motherfucking mind to do some shit like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, okay, I'm 10 years old. I'm 12 years old. You know, mom, you know, beat my ass and stuff. You know, it's a whole lot different between 10 and 12 and 2 and 3.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like my brother, okay, he got daughters, man. He got 2 sons and 2 daughters. And now I had this thing, you know, like as the uncle, I like my niece Gabby. I love her, you know, I'm basically her butler. She called me the butler. My niece, I'm the butler. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what her mama used to say, you just Gabby's butler. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was my baby girl right there. And you know, it was so many times that I had to intervene and stop her from getting whoopings. You know, probably when she should have got one. What I'm saying, but anyway, I know it was one particular time when my brother, where, you know, she had did something and they had to discipline her. And, you know, I just feel like, you know, in my mind, I was like, man, I think you might have spanked her a little bit too hard. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, like, you know, my brother, hey man, you know, these my children. You know, this ain't none of your business. But I'm saying, you know, like, you know, man, she's 4 years old though.
Yeah.
She's 4 years old. You know, and I'm just like, I mean, okay, I understand that part. I understand what you're saying, but I mean, you know, that couldn't. I see he a good dude though. He a good dude. You know, he not the guy that I'm talking about who beat the shit out of the toddler. But I'm saying, you know, if you ain't that dude, I can see how that could escalate. You know what I'm saying, Ms. Cassidra? If you got a pattern of beating the shit out of her like that, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, every time she do, because, you know, children are gonna do children stuff.
Of course, but
they're gonna do children stuff, and I just had to, like, I said, but you know, okay, you had to kind of, and I say, bro, and you know, man, that's my same, but what I told you about how my mama used to beat our ass. Hey, no, we know how that go. We know how that goes. You know, eventually you came around, you know, yeah, man, you know, you right, man. I can respect that, because, you know, I mean, I did, the mama did, you know, I had to say, man, you know, I think, you know, don't whoop her so hard, man.
Yeah.
You know, give her, you know, don't no. I don't, cause that's why, hey, right now today, that's why I don't wear belts. Cause I got so many whoopings as a child.
Mhm.
But I'm just like, we gotta come up with some other ways, It comes a time where you could pat your child in the hand or whatever. But we gotta come up, to me, the whooping is the last thing, the last resort.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's some flaky stuff,
you gotta talk to your children. Hey, I'm bringing it back home, Miss Cassandra. We gotta talk to our children. We gotta educate our children.
Yeah.
Even at that young age, 'cause what the book said, if you teach them young,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
that goes to the other stuff too. Like when when mama get with another man who this fool might be predator. You don't know him if he a predator or what. Hey, you know what? One thing we got to do also. Hey, let's teach our children. Hey, this is a bad touch. Don't. Hey, he ain't got no business touching you right there.
Got no
He got
business touching your child.
yeah.
Period.
That's what
'Cause
this go roll with me. I'm saying he ain't got no business like touching you. Like you said, touch you at all. But I'm saying after a period of time, because I had a stepfather and he disciplined me. But I'm just saying. So I mean, I'm not saying he ain't gonna discipline. But what I'm saying, I got you. I got you. Let me finish. I got you. I know what you're talking about. Hey, I know 100% what you're talking about. But I'm saying, but I'm just saying, hey, look here. But all of this here, hey, this old getting you come in, let me talk to you, sit on my lap, and all this old bullshit right here. No, we don't do that right there. What I'm saying, but and another part is this right here that I think a lot of sisters ought to do and brothers need to do. When you go with somebody else, I'm gonna tell you, you don't want you say, well, this could be a deal breaker. Well, you know what? This will be a deal breaker for the right reason. When I meet you as a young lady, when you meet that man, or when you meet that woman, hey, you tell them right now, hey, look here, I don't mean to sound crazy. I know it might sound crazy to you or whatever, but you a new man. I like you, I respect you, and all that there. But I say, I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking to anybody. I just put it like that. Let them know I'm not talking to you personally, but I'm talking to anybody. But I'm talking to you. Look here, I'ma always check up on my children, make sure none of you motherfuckers don't put your hands on my children. But none of you don't do no slick shit. I'ma always ask them what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'ma always know that. So if you that kind of joker behind the scenes and I don't know about it, hey, I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna ask my children, did he come to you the wrong way?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do that shit. I'll knock off right there, Miss Cassandra. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I believe that every parent's different. And when you're meeting these men, if you're not married to them, they have no business, period, spanking or hitting your child, because they could spank them for something that you think it's okay. Everybody parent different. So if you just meet her, you ain't had no business saying anything, because that's not your child, for one. And for two, even once you start dating, she still should be the disciplinary, because that's, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe.
Hey, Miss Cassandra, just one thing. Let me preface this one thing before. See, my stepdaddy, him and my mama was married for 7 years though.
I understand that, and I'm just talking because I had girls, you know what I'm saying? And I don't believe a man should be spanking a girl. I don't believe that, because then
I do 100%.
feeling like your man, your daughter will feel like it's okay for a man to hit her. So that's real. I understand boys is a little different, with men, and they buck up and everything. I understand that's a different, that's totally different, because your mom had that help, and and you trusted him, and your mom trusted him, and he never tried to do anything. And that's a difference, okay, when you have boys. But when you have girls, I'm just saying, I wouldn't have never let somebody come in and spank my daughter. Not their dad, and when he was living, he didn't spank them. So why would I let another man come in and spank my daughters? No.
Yeah, that's why I told my brother, I said, man, I think you're hitting her too hard, man.
Yeah, he shouldn't have never been hitting her in the first place. So then she grows up, and that's the mom's job, to discipline and to do that, because I believe that makes them think that it's okay for a man to hit them. You know what I'm saying? It's different. That's just the way I think.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you think, Cass?
No, yeah, I definitely agree. And it's definitely like I will say though, as a boy myself, when I was a boy, there's a point where you smelling yourself, and sometimes your dad gotta, like, you know what I'm saying, or whoever your father figure is, gotta let you know, like, listen here, you know what I'm saying, like,
I'm the man.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? You
Totally.
still
I
a
think it's
child,
different with boys. Yeah, boys is a little different, but with them girls, Hey.
Boys gonna try you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
but yeah. So let me I ain't
Go
gonna
ahead.
play this. Yeah, I ain't gonna play this one. But this was like another it was like racial discrimination of like black children and like some like school thing. And this was in Virginia. That's why I was gonna play it. I play it I guess on the next time. But
Was it long? Is it long?
this one like a minute. Some
Well, let's just hear a little bit.
okay.
Out of New Kent after a resident in a mobile home park was accused of making racially charged comments against a child. Here's 8 News reporter Roland Wilson with the disturbing details.
It's
The
come on like
lawsuit
TV.
between the Poots' mobile home park and previous tenants Ronald Maybush and his granddaughter claims violations of state and federal housing discrimination laws. According to the suit filed back in 2022, starting in 2019, the mobile home park owners and other residents allegedly threatened the child and used racial slurs against her, saying black students should, quote, go last when riding the bus. The mobile home park denies these claims and has agreed to pay the previous tenants more than $20,000. Documents state the Maybush family moved out in 2020 and sought intensive therapy after receiving an eviction notice.
Sometimes tenants feel that nobody will listen to them, that they've got to take it. But the fact of the matter is they don't have to take it. And lawsuits like this are brought not only to bring relief to individual tenants, but also to send the message to tenants and landlords alike. There are very strong fair housing laws in this country.
Poots' attorney did not respond to a request for comment. Maybush and his granddaughter's attorney says in part, we are pleased that this hard-fought case resolved to benefit KM and that home and our clients have shown that landlords must not tolerate racist slurs.
Right. So and the thing is Cassidra, do you know what New Kent is about New Kent?
I do. Yeah, I know.
Well, like why is the next part was like about having your children, because that was one of the parts about it was like having your children in environments that is like anti them, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Where the hair that goes up, so like it's already bad enough in America, but like you go to like some people is from who say they from like Washington or something or wherever he say from, they end up like those type of people, and that was gonna be about putting your children in crazy situations and environments,
That you know that they're gonna have some problems because you have problems with them. And even like this is here we go protecting. Hearing a echo. Somebody need to mute themselves. I'm hearing it's like
you echoing?
Yeah, I'm hearing the echo.
It might be me because I think Anthony fell off. Let me see.
Okay, Anthony gone. Okay, but yeah, just like our neighbors,
Okay, there you go.
just protecting our babies, and that's what it's all about, protecting our babies,
Yeah,
even with the neighbors, even at the schools, it's all about protecting our babies, and that's not what we're doing. You have neighbors, you out watching your child play, okay, and them bad neighbors kids, okay, even with the neighbors, because I remember way back in the day, I lived in a duplex, right, and this white lady right next door, and I used to watch my kids when they go out, okay, so my daughter, I'm seeing her on the sidewalk, and she's with her chalk, and she had colored chalk, and she was doing the hopscotch thing, right. So the neighbor comes out there, and I'm right there watching. I'm hearing her. I'm in the window. You don't see me in the door. I'm in the window in the curtain, and I'm looking, right? Because I seen her when she walked up there, and I'm opening the window because I need to hear. So she going off on my daughter. I step outside. I said, come here. I told my daughter to go in the house. I said, come here. I said, let me tell you something. The next time you say anything to my daughter, I'm going to beat your ass. That's what I told her. I said, because what you just said to my daughter, you wouldn't dare say to your son. She had a little boy. He was about 10. And that little boy would cuss her out. Do you hear me? Cuss her out. And I said, you have a son that will sit up there and curse you out. My daughter has never disrespected you, but you just went to her and treated her the same way your son did. Step to her again. You bet not say not another word to her. I'm going to beat you. And I'm just saying, this is the kind of parent I was. You're not going to talk to man like that. She thought I wasn't listening. I mean, if she thought she was going to go and say, oh, I always watch mine, honey. You better believe it. They out there, I'm watching, period. I may not be sitting on that stoop, but I'm behind the curtain. I'm watching because I need to understand. I need you to know that I'm always there. Don't you ever get it twisted. And that woman never said another word to my daughter. Don't play with me. because she thought I was one of them parents. Oh no, I'm not one of them, honey. You ain't finna talk to me in any kind of way. Because I already don't like y'all. Okay. And even when they go into school, you have to watch with them teachers. And we feel as Black folk that just because they're in a white environment, they're good. No, that's the worst environment for your child. You're putting your child in all kind of danger. Them kids are deadly. Do you hear me? Them kids are deadly. What happened to the Kendra boy? Remember, he was in school. Him and the white boy got into it, and he ended up being found and rolled up in the rug because the boy's father was a sheriff, and he killed a boy, right? And the sheriff covered it up for his son. No, we're not doing that. We're not going to put them in more danger. We are here to protect our children, and we seem to think that they're going to protect our babies. No, that's your job. That's your job. I see what happened with these. I told you I work by a charter school, all white. You got these Black kids. Every now and then you see one speckle, okay? But I know how they playing by themselves. They on the sideline by themselves. Ain't nobody playing with them. The other kids playing in the group. You think the teachers don't say that? That's your opportunity as a teacher to introduce the different cultures to your class. You know what I'm saying? To get everybody to understand in the different cultures and knocking off some of that childhood stuff that you're being taught at home. That's an opportunity to learn, to really teach a class about culture and to really teach other kids about, other shades of people. That's a good opportunity. But if you got these teachers as racist, okay, which some of them are in those, all white schools, and the ones, because they're not even trying to teach them kids how to come together and play together because they don't want it. They don't want it. So that's our job to keep our children safe. And that's where we slipping because we think, oh, it's white, it's right. No, it's not. It's not. Our children are being tortured in those schools because them children are horrible. Them white kids is terrible with each other. And of course with your child. I'll rest my mic.
Yeah, and before I get Anthony, New Ken is like you notice they said trailer park. New Ken is like one big ass trailer park. You know what I'm saying? The whole county is a trailer park.
Yes, it is.
It's probably like 2 black, but they have like the Black family out there. So like that's really what is it, and it's really the trailer park. It's a bunch of like
really racist.
And like and there's always a damn Black family out there. In each one of these counties, it's always a Black family out there. Like. It's just crazy, and then they grow up to be the first riflemen of the world, But yeah, you wanted to say something though?
No, man. Hey, you think about the first rifle, but I was on a panel the other day, man. I think I was on Shakara's panel. Guy Kush TV Shakara. You say the brother from the UK.
Yeah, I think you sent it to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, First Rifleman was on there too. he was on the panel, but he showed up in the show though.
Oh Lord Jesus!
Yeah, and the brother Coffee the Black. We was on Dinah's and Mills platform.
Oh, Dinah's, yeah.
On Dinah's, and First Rifleman when he was on there, talking his bullshit.
Oh Lord, oh God.
Yeah, I had to get up off of that.
Acting like they Pan-African and they talk so anti-Black is so disgusting. Some of them shows I can't even watch because they say you're Black folk and you going to Africa, but you anti-Black. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense. Make it.
Yeah, I had to hurry up and get up off of that.
Yeah, I can't take them. I can't. I used to watch him, and it's just so anti-Black. I'm like, and you going to Africa and you don't even like Black people? What's wrong with doing here?
No,
and don't let them start talking about Black women. Oh my God, you can forget that. Woo! Like, what is going on?
Dinah's okay. Dinah's he's from here. He's from Georgia. I mean, he's from
he's from here, but he goes over to Africa all the time. All the time.
No. What I'm saying though, I met him in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
When I lived in Atlanta Metro, I met him one time.
Mm-hmm. But he could
he's just, he's Dinah's is something else. I'm like, he presented himself one way, but really, like you said, the stuff he talk about is really just
it's crazy. I've heard him, and I'm like, what? Do you like Black people or not?
Yeah,
Black women especially. I'm like,
yeah, they go hard on that.
Some of these guys is terrible, and some of
Yeah.
these men who grew up without their moms, the grandma raised them, the daddy wasn't there. They got a whole hatred for the black woman. Period. Period. They got a whole nother level of hatred, and these men talk all kind of crazy against black women, and it's sad.
Yeah,
It's
they
sad.
call it the manosphere, you know.
They call it something, honey, but I don't know what the hell it
I
is.
know forecast, you know, about the black manosphere.
Yeah. I know. I don't talk about them because you know. I
Yeah,
don't,
they just bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yeah, but they
yeah,
got a whole lot of self-hate, honey. A whole lot of
Yeah,
black self-hate with black women. They got issues with black women. Seriously.
yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
So I don't know
But,
what no manosphere. I don't watch all that, but some of that stuff.
Yeah, that's what they call it. That's what they call it.
Oh, now when I hear them talking like that, I turn
Yeah.
it on. I don't
Yeah,
even
exactly.
entertain it because I know they got a lot of self-hate with the mamas. They hating
Yeah.
on their mamas because the mama
Yeah.
didn't raise them, and the mama had some issues or whatever, and the grandma had to raise them. They got all kind of hate against their mamas.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You know, that's
And
why
there
I'm
we
like,
go, talking about that protecting of our children. This is
Please,
that's
listen
what
to that.
is created when you don't protect your children. When you got some other stuff going on, we have to get to the place where we're taking care of our stuff in the beginning before we having these babies. Some of us having these babies, and we got all kind of traumas going on. And guess what? You're not ready to have them. You have them, give them to your grandma, let your grandma raise them because you think grandma can do a better job, but that child don't want to be with grandma. That child wants to be with the mama. A mama's love is something totally, can't nobody give your child that. Grandma can do it, but it ain't nothing like mama. It ain't nothing. And when mama's not there to do that job and grandma's got to do it, them kids come out all kind of angry with them mamas. Then you got a mama issue, and now you got a whole grown man that has a lot of hate for the mom because the mom wasn't there. The mom didn't protect them. The grandma was tired. The grandma she was there. But as far as grandma really disciplining and really, grandma was tired. Grandma was like, boy, do what you want to do and let them do whatever they want to. But you got a lot of hate for the moms from them boys. A lot of hate.
yeah. I mean, and that's why, if I talk to them, I'll like I'll put it out there, you know what I'm saying? That's why I guess they stopped coming over here because, I say that stuff to them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, honey. Whew,
They
you
not
couldn't
gonna
sit
really
up in
come
that
over here,
podcast,
but
honey. You
I know
couldn't sit up in
y'all
there,
don't
honey.
like to hear it. But that's why I talk to them though, because like that's the thing about it though, because I understand like all the stuff that we talking about, like that's how some of the stuff that helped me learn a lot of this, or because not just from the people I know, and also from them, like their moms be these people, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of understand, you know what I'm saying? But I don't understand either, but that's why they don't talk about it, and that's why I would say that to them, and they wouldn't talk to me, So
No, they wouldn't. And
yeah.
those are the men that need the most help. Those are the men we talk about that need that could use some therapy. Seriously, big time.
And I want to finish with something more light or positive,
Awesome.
but this was the last one. I don't know if y'all want to see another one with this 5-year-old girl, the one that you sent me, Cassidra. They found another young 5-year-old. Do you want to play this one or just go to like the positive one and like kind of end it?
We can do something positive.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do something positive.
Now, this ain't all the way positive, but it's more positive, I guess.
You said ain't all the way positive, huh?
Yeah, like whatever is with us. What can we'll all right.
Was shot back in January, another in March, and a third on May 5th while he was trying to deliver food for DoorDash.
And I'm actually a DoorDash driver too, so like that kind of like hurt me when I heard that across the street.
Keith Strickland grew up in the area where you can see small kids playing during the day and sometimes police sirens at night.
The violence is not new. It's just becoming a more shared issue.
The 3 young men beside him, all younger than 22, are also from around the area and depended on mentors like Keith and community programs to make a better way for themselves.
Open up some programs like Keith did. To talk to us like us, to teach us.
Right.
One of the things they say could make an impact in their community is intervention now to impact younger generations, especially with the water boys. For these young men, who all say they've had to sell things in their time to make money as young children, they see 3 problems: a lack of proper guidance.
Somebody got to teach them the proper business.
Now, I'm pretty sure, Anthony, you heard about the water boys, right?
Yeah.
Consider you heard about them? All right, I'm gonna let this play. Then I'm gonna explain it to you.
Mm-hmm.
It was about like 10 years ago when I first heard about it.
Opportunities.
If they had more outlets, maybe kids wouldn't be out there doing it.
And a lack of understanding why some of the young kids feel they need to feed their families, like for Tyree Mathis, who used to sell candy and water.
I'm literally 13 trying to fill the shoes of a 25-year-old man.
Wow.
For no reason.
The Atlanta City Council passed a program to launch a water distribution program that would employ teens, and community leaders like Keith are stepping up to hire them. But Keith believes it will take putting more resources in the community that people can take advantage of.
Because you can develop jobs on the north side for them.
Yes.
How we gonna get there, right? You can tell them
I was in Atlanta when that was going on.
online and fill out the application if they've never had anybody teach them how to do that. The
Yeah,
problem
we used to see them on the street sometimes.
young child doesn't
Yeah.
have to develop until a person who has to be on the corner selling water. That's the root problem.
Now, all right, so I guess you've seen them, Anthony. I'll ask you because now consider the thing about them. You see these young brothers, like now you see some people say good things about them, but like they get a lot of like hate, and then they be on their neck, and especially like the rednecks and all of that stuff.
Of course, they're gonna get a lot of hate because it's black boys.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, even though they're doing, and I think I've seen a little bit about it because when I went to Africa, they had that they sold the water and all kind of stuff in the middle of the street. They walk up to the car, but they was making a living. So you either want to buy from them or you don't. But a lot of rednecks don't have something negative to say about our boys making money, doing something prosperous, and not causing trouble. So of course they're gonna hate on them. That's normal. That's what they do. You would expect them to do anything else but be negative about our babies. That's all they know how to do.
Yeah, and this is why I want to ask you though, Anthony, right? Because I heard some black people saying that too. They be like, "Well, they harass and they do this and do that." Like, is that true?
It's just like the sister just said, man. You can always have haters. For kids, you know what? It's some people right now who, if they tune into this channel and they hear you talking about something, they gonna say you harassing. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, yeah.
They gonna say that. They go. If you talking about anything, if you talking about any kind of black empowerment, it's people. Okay, you talk about black empowerment. Okay, let's go back to that show. Remember when you had on the show about that brother? I think he was in Chicago. The man who was talking all that stuff. Yeah. He was saying that y'all ain't gonna shut me down. I'm gonna see what I gotta say. You know that brother?
Oh yeah. He was
talking, that brother, and who was talking to the other brother, calling him on Uncle Tom and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Look here. For him telling the truth, he's gonna be a harasser. You know what I'm saying? A brother who's telling the truth is a harasser. No, you just up here harassing. Look at what this old fool, man. You had this brother who got his own school thing, going on. Brother, what they call him? It's like King something. And then you had this old Negro, Democratic Party Negro, Roland Martin coming out against him. Talking all kind of mess against the man. The man was somebody empowering us doing something for ourselves. And then he mentioned about like we need to don't worry about the Democratic, about vote, all that old voting stuff. For these same old people who don't never do nothing for us. But you had this Roland Martin coming out. Y'all know what I'm talking about? The brother King something like that. King something.
King Randall.
Yeah, that might be okay. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna always be one of those Negroes that's gonna come out and hate on somebody trying to lead you to liberation. You know what I'm saying? Trying to lead you to freedom. If you trying to lead the enslaved black people to freedom, you're gonna always have a Negro trying to keep them on the plantation. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna always be like that. So anytime you try to make any kind of move towards your own liberation, your own sovereignty, your own self-respect or whatever, it's gonna always be those who will come out of look at the what they doing this here, they doing that there. They gonna always come out with some mess like that. Oh yeah, they up there talking about them brothers there. I remember the thing they were saying they was disrupting traffic and stuff. If you live in Atlanta, you know how the traffic is. It's fast as hell. I mean, you live on the East Coast, you know how the traffic is over there. How the traffic is in DC, places like that. Oh, they causing a problem with the traffic, running all in the streets, handing out water bottles and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I remember them guys vividly, man. We used to see them all the time. But it's gonna always be, you gonna always have those people, those detractors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those people who gonna hate on stuff that you're doing, man. You know, it's gonna be there. You know, you gonna always have a man. I just say, man, keep on doing what you're doing, man. If it's something positive, if it's something that's helping us, you know what I'm saying? You know, I pass the mic.
Yeah, you know, and they I think they went out the way to try to stop them young brothers, you know what I'm saying, or using that off propaganda.
Keisha Lance's bottom. You know,
Yeah.
she was oh yeah, she was something else, man. Oh, Mel Keisha Lance's bottom, she was something else.
Yeah, so like I was saying, they anything to keep us at the bottom, you know what I'm saying? All right, yo, the last one, and then that's it, you know, especially considering what you think about this. A dad is inside the classroom confronting a teen.
Oh, really? A dad?
A father picking up his daughter from her high school ends up allegedly confronting another student, barging into the classroom and cornering the teenager. While he demanded the boy apologize to his daughter and the charges he now faces in connection with this viral incident. We sit down with New Jersey criminal defense attorney Mike Corbatix.
Oh, we ain't gonna listen to no
presented by Law and Crime.
Mike Corbett. I just want you to see the video.
Police say the man, identified as 38-year-old Aaron Thomas, barged into a classroom at Paulsboro High School in New Jersey last week. And he allegedly came to the school around lunchtime to take his daughter home. She was apparently having problems with a fellow student who she claimed was harassing her. Now, it's unclear how the father was able to get all the way to the classroom or why someone was filming it in the first place, but the video shows someone knocking on the door a few times before it opens. Thomas allegedly goes inside and points his way toward a student in a red shirt before confronting him.
You're apologize to my daughter. I didn't like. You got a problem with my daughter? Apologize to my daughter. Well, I ain't do nothing. Yo, apologize to my daughter, man. I didn't do nothing to it. You're I said. Apologize to my daughter. Now.
And then another student in the back corner seems to. Now it's hard. I didn't do nothing. Thomas.
All right, so he keep going back. What do you think about that?
Oh, Neil.
What you think? Consider. What you think about that? Consider.
God, that's. I don't know. Was he harassing the girl or just? I mean, if he was harassing the young lady, I do believe it's okay to do that. Who else is going to protect her? You know what I'm saying? You know how little boys do, and they, because their dad's not there. I think that'll kind of shut it down. If the teacher didn't. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just thinking if it was my daughter, I would have went up. I know I've gone up there before, but I believe that the dad could shut it down, and I think it probably did shut him down. I don't believe that he should have been brought up on charges. I think sometimes that needs to happen, because the dads aren't in the home, so you'll have a lot of nonsense going on because of the lack of the discipline from the fathers. So if he was harassing a little girl, I believe that about a dad coming in and speaking up and saying what he had to say, I think it could have been much needed. That shut a whole lot of other stuff down, because maybe he thought this little girl didn't have a father, so he gonna harass or he's gonna bully her. So yeah, the bullying needs to be shut down sometime, and the dad walked in there and did what he needed to do. I'm just saying. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm curious. Anthony, let me ask you, because I'm curious too. What you think? Did he handle it the right way, or even if he confronted him, should he have been that? I don't know what the word is. Should he have approached him like that, or been like, "Oh, let me talk to you, sweetheart." You know what I'm saying? Let me. How you feel like he should have handled it? You think he did the right thing?
Okay, okay, all right. I'm glad. See, okay, one thing we needed more context.
That's
you know what I'm saying. I mean, it would have been good if we had more context, if we knew like the background story. That's one thing. That's one thing I say, because we wonder why did the father, what was behind the father having to come there. No, I'm saying I agree with what he did.
Well,
If it was,
let me say, because the video is like, so I'm not gonna play it, but it's like because it's like 16 minutes and stuff. But
okay, but I'm just saying, but if you seen the video, if you know what the context was behind it, let us know what the context was.
Well, apparently, they was in school, right? And when they was leaving, like the young, like, and it goes off of, the problem is here, it goes off of word of mouth, you know what I'm saying? So I think that from what I get from it, just from this thing here, and by the way, if anybody could go back and watch it, but from what I get from it, they had an incident where she says that he said something to her or something, and so she told her dad, and so her dad confronted him. But it's still like she said this. I don't know if he had proof or nothing or anything like that. But like basically when they was like leaving or in between classes or something like that, you know what I'm saying? He said something to her,
Okay, I'm ready now. Okay, here I come. Just shake me out for a minute. Bear with me for a minute. Okay. I'm gonna say two things. Okay, now check this out. Now let's see. That's why I asked about the context. Now I can remember back in school when I was in school, and it was time like where you may have had an incident with a teacher as a student. You may not have liked a certain teacher, because I remember certain times we used to say, "Man, I'm gonna go home and tell my daddy." You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell my mama. They're gonna come over and get and check your stuff like that. And the teacher might not have been in the wrong, might not have did nothing bad, but he might have disciplined you, and not even physical, but put you in line. And sometimes, and we didn't all went through it. Oh man, you didn't like that the teacher put you in line or might have talked to you a certain way. You might have took offense to it. Say, oh man, I'm gonna go tell my dad. My daddy gonna come up and beat your ass. Some stuff like that. That happened because I've seen it plenty of times. I'm not saying that was the situation, but then again, it could be like, okay, here go example. I was in when I was in 6th grade, I was kind of a big kid. I was a big kid. I'm a big dude now. I was a big kid, and admittedly, I was kind of like a little bully. I was in my bully stage because I was like a little Debo back at that time. And it was this a guy. He was a grade younger than me. His name was Craig. And I didn't beat him up or nothing, but I kind of like intimidated him. Like, hey, Craig, scared. He was scared a little bit, like a lot of the kids was scared, I was young. I ain't know no better at that time. But one day, this what happened. He told his cousin. His cousin name was Martin. Now, Martin was like in the 8th grade, 9th grade. He was in junior high school. So one day, I had a job. I used to go put the flag up in the morning, put the flag on the flagpole in the morning. So one day, I was out there putting up the flag that morning, and his cousin Martin came from walking down the streets out there, seen me putting up the flag. They told him he put up the flag at a certain time. Martin came and he checked the hell out of my ass, and I was scared as hell, man. You know what I'm saying? I was scared as hell. And he didn't whoop my ass or nothing, but he told me, if you mess with my cousin, I'm gonna whoop your ass. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm gonna whoop your ass. And so, and he checked, hey, and that was the end of that bullying stuff. Hey, me and Craig was friends after that. We let that go. Well, that was enough of that, because it took him, somebody to come by and put me in line,
Right.
And check me for that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And he checked me for that bullshit real quick. So I'm saying we had to have context. We don't know. I mean, I don't know how that whole situation acted out. Whether it was from somebody bullying her, or rather it was from somebody. Sometimes, what I'm saying, misconceived. Sometimes, how kids are at that age. Sometimes it could be somebody could say the wrong thing to you. You just didn't like what they say. Well, I'm gonna go tell my daddy.
Yeah,
and then sometimes it could be. It could be the other. We gotta look at. We don't have context, so we don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really know. So I'm saying, it could have been like if he was bullying her, daddy came and did what he had to do and check his ass. But what if it was like, you know how sometimes a young girl is at that age, and guys too. It could be some stuff like, like I liked you, but you didn't like me, and you talked to other girl, and we had words, and you called me a bad word or something. I'm gonna tell my daddy. I'm not saying that's it, but I'm saying we don't have context, so we don't really know.
Yeah, but that's more high school. You know what I think more elementary is. I'm gonna tell my daddy, but I think more high school is, and that's what I'm thinking. It was more high school, and it was more in the context of he probably was bullying her. You know, because he said, "Did you say something to my daughter?" You know what I'm saying? So he said something. You know,
Yeah, that's true, but we don't know what he said though.
But he still said something. Okay.
I mean,
He said something enough to where the dad, you know, she went home and said, "Daddy, he called me," or blah blah blah. So I think maybe it was a little bullying, and you know, and like you said, we don't have a whole lot of context, but I do think that something went down for the dad to come up there.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, but I do believe he did the right thing, because sometimes
yeah, I mean, you're right about that.
Female, you know, somebody male older gotta shut that down sometimes, you know.
Yeah, you're right about that part. Like, yes, whatever it is, like right or wrong, I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'm gonna go check on this thing.
Exactly.
But I'm saying, but at the same time, children do lie too, though.
Oh, sure, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I'm not blaming them, but I'm just saying before because we don't have. All I'm saying is because we don't have context. No, we do have to look at both sides of it. Cause see, him coming up there, this is what I'm saying. I'm bringing it to this. Him coming up there and checking on his daughter, that can escalate to the police coming up there and daddy getting shot.
Yeah,
I'm saying, look at the police come. Look at what I'm listening at me. The teacher called the police. Man, we got this father who came up here unannounced or whatever. No, the police come up here. You know what I'm saying? Daddy like, hey, well, I'm coming to check on my daughter. You know, daddy get into it with the police. I mean, not necessarily them getting shot, but them getting him getting tackled or whatever and sent to jail.
Yeah, but I still am gonna come up there and protect my baby. You know, I
didn't say don't do that, but I'm saying with us not having context of what's behind it, I'm saying what this could lead to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Look at I'm telling you, I got into it with a teacher man one time when I was in junior high school. And like I was dead in the wrong. You know, we had me and another student got into a fight. You know what I'm saying? The teacher, he didn't do nothing. He grabbed me and like pushed my ass, got my ass out the way. No, I went back and told my stepdad, man, you know, this man put his hands on me, you know, like came at me, like, you know, like attacking me. You know, and I was in the wrong. And like my daddy came up there and then, you know, at the end he found out, well, man, why you didn't tell me that?
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like I told my daughters, if I come up there and I see that you've been disrespected in the conversation, because I'm going to come and check. Okay. I'm coming to see, but let me find out you in the wrong. I'm gonna check that ass. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want me to come up there because I'm gonna check you in front of her because you wrong.
Man, so, I got mine whooped.
Exactly. Don't you know? Because don't be coming lying talking about. Because I need to be sure that you tell the truth so I can defend you.
That's the point I was just trying to make. That's why I said we need more context.
But that's shoot. I come up there and you've been disrespectful. We're gonna have some business. You know.
Yeah,
that's an end game. I'm not protecting anybody if you disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, definitely. But because I definitely and this is the issue, you know what I'm saying? I would say this, you know, and then we're gonna close out with play the positive video, then we're gonna close out. Those were supposed to be positive, but you know, the thing is you do have to be careful with that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like when you go out there, because that young brother could have males people in his family and he go back and say, well, this happened to me, and now you starting and yeah, so the father, he has a responsibility to go in there to protect his daughter, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, like, as parents, what we have to do, that's why it's important to be involved and being down there in the first place. Because if the brother was down there and how he approached the situation, you know, like you don't go in there like maybe sometimes young brothers need the scare tactic, but sometimes they need a talking to. Sometimes they need to be like, you need to see to get the bottom of this. You have to be careful about how you approach each situation. You can't just go down there, you know, like, oh yeah, well, whatever. And then you know, especially as a man coming to another young black boy threatening him. Now, if I find out you did something, you know what I'm saying, like you put that fear in them, like, you know what I'm saying, like, but you go in there like, look, now what's going on? Like, did you something? Like, you know what I'm saying? You like, now if I find out you lying to me, you know what I'm saying, you already know what's gonna happen, right? You know, that kind of, you know, instead of going there like, you know, with that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying, like, even if you pulling him to the side for a minute, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, you know what I'm saying.
That's my whole point.
Yeah, you know, so yeah, and I agree with you, but that's why I agree with you, and I agree with but you got to be down there either way to make sure that you check in that situation, because you're not gonna let it escalate. You know what I'm saying? It's just using the right tact and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But like sometimes you got to use that energy with a young dude, especially if he start talking back. You know what I'm saying? Like or something. Not that you're gonna do something, but it is what it is. That's why it's important, like Cassidra was trying to do before, like black men
Exactly.
and
Bring
the
them in school.
schools in the first place. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even have to worry about none of that.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. So this is the all right. Let me play this video.
Now that could have been handled, and this is why we have our men to come to school, and this is why we need our men. But they're not going to allow them in there in the school because it'll be too positive. You want your children. They want your children to act the fool. They want to be able to suspend them. They want to be able to take them to jail or send them to jail. So we understand why they're not going to let us in there. You know what I'm saying? We understand, but it's going to still take parents being active in their child's lives. Dads being more active than moms. This was just something that I came across. And they're selling land for like $1,000. And I think it's very positive for Black people if you want to get involved.
Right,
I've been watching her for the last couple of months.
Is that R. Kathy?
No, this is somebody else. But she's selling land in Georgia for like $1,000. Buckhead, she got some land out there, and she's trying to create a little village, a little town.
I think I read it. I think I've seen something about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know R. Kathy was doing the same thing though.
Oh, really? On Kathy? Okay, she on TikTok too?
Yeah, R. Kathy. She's she's on YouTube. R. Kathy. She over
Art Kathy.
Yeah, she's over in Africa too, and in Georgia.
Oh, okay.
She's doing the same thing. She got a YouTube channel. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, they're trying to create a all Black community down there in Georgia.
Oh, okay.
And they buying land in West Africa too.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
While Black people are debating if the SNL parody of the Cat Williams interview is a shot at Cat Williams, other people are turning their backyards into tiny farms in response to the current food crisis. Yeah, y'all forgot about inflation just that quick. And before you say, sis, I rent, I don't own a home, I can't afford no land, I ain't got it. Long are the days that I continue accepting Black people saying that they ain't got it. Black people are not poor. We just got poor spending habits. The same way you can negotiate a discount or a hookup, you can easily negotiate a payment plan. All you need to start with is $150 down to get you an acre in Cafe City. So hit that link in the bio, read the frequently asked questions, and sis and bruh, ring me. Ring me. We gonna make Black history this year, not just talk about it. Let's go.
I'm gonna check. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Oh man, yeah, I got. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I mean, $1,000. You know how many people got their taxes and they could afford a whole acre for $1,000? Really? I'm just saying. We have to check on people like that.
And it ain't. You know what though? And another thing. Can I say something real quick? Sure. It's another thing. This is another thing right here. And that's great. All that's great what you talk about. It don't have to be that much. I'm like, you could go in your backyard like we doing tomorrow. We turning over the dirt tomorrow. Because I'm putting my garden out, start my garden tomorrow. Me and my cousin, we doing it tomorrow. But see, just the other thing, like, in the city, you always had like vacant lots where it used to be a house where the house burnt down or they tore the house down. You could lay there and buy that land. Like we got a meeting going to the city council trying to buy a lot. It's a lot down the street from me. And I'm trying to buy it. The lots you can get it for like $1,000.
Yep.
You bid on them. And like a lot, I was telling Coco about this some months ago. And see what I'm doing. My thing is, all right, it's a lot that I'm trying to buy. I'm in the motion of buying it. I'm trying to buy the land. It's just like, just a regular lot, like with the size of, with a gate, a fence around it. And it used to be a house, a nice little plot that I'm buying, I'm bidding on, trying to buy, and I'm gonna turn it to a garden. A community garden. I already got the name. I'm calling it the Marcus Garvey Community Gardens.
Yeah, awesome.
While I'm planting greens or something, planting vegetables. And stuff like people in the community come and get. I mean, it's for free. Only thing I'm doing is, I just, pay the water bill. You got to pay the water bill and buy your seed stuff, your fertilizer.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm doing now. And like I said, well, tomorrow me and my cousin, this is the time we starting our planting now.
Okay.
We tilling up land and putting our stuff down tomorrow. What I'm saying, hey, it don't necessarily have to be that you have to spend a lot of money for it. It's a whole lot of, in our cities, we know in black communities, there's a whole lot of vacant lots. Man, you can plant gardens all over the place.
But she's buying, this is land to live on. She's selling you a whole
I mean,
acre.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I mean, I get that. I'm with that 100%. But I'm saying, we got a lot of land around here too. It's a lot of land. Like I'm just saying that's just part. That's part of it. That's part of it. You could do it in your yard. You could plant gardens. I mean, we got plenty of it's land all around where I live at. There's a lot of land. I'm in agreement with that. I agree with her. I checked. I read about her a little bit. I read a little bit, but I read mostly about this other sister who's out there. She might know it. They might be in conjunction. This sister Art Kathy, because they talking about the same thing about their community they're trying to build in Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rest the mic.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that. I've been watching her, and I'm like, hey, a lot of black folk got their taxes. That'll be a good investment to take $1,000 to invest in you a piece of land, inside of a black community. But only thing with her, I don't know if she's just doing black people, which I think she should be, but I don't know. So my thing is, it needs to be totally black for me to really get into it. But I know a lot of people don't mind doing that mixed thing community, but $1,000 is not bad. And I think it's like a half of an acre for like $615. If you wanted to do a half of an acre for a house or whatever. So I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's not bad, and you're right, a lot of our people is like, oh yeah, for everybody and people of color and all that stuff. But it's still a good idea, and putting our resources together. But it goes back to like what we've been talking about, and it's about protecting our youth and our children and getting that right mindset in them, so we know better than thinking we have any friends. Like, we don't got no more spots in our back left to get stabbed in by any other group. You know what I'm saying? If you're not black, you're not one of us. You know what I'm saying? And it just, so. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna let my brother Anthony go in, so CassidraCheek can have the last words. So go ahead, my brother Anthony.
Oh man, it's been great, man. Fellowshipping with y'all, man. And us discussing things, and I had a great time, man. I had a great time. I mean, yeah, I don't really had nothing to add. We just all got through talking together. You know what I'm saying? We all talk together, we all discuss things, and we know what it is. And we know what we got to do. We know what we got to do. We got to do it for ourselves. Ain't nobody going to come and do it for us. We ain't got no damn friends. You know what I'm saying? It's just us. And we know what to do. We just got to, we got to stop being some big ass cowards. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead. You can go ahead. In this case, you can go ahead and say it. You say the B word. Stop being some...
Stop being some bitches. I'm talking about brother. We can stop being some bitches. But that's what we acting like, man. Like some bitches. And when I mean bitches, I'm just talking about some weak ass Negroes. You know what I'm saying? Our business and taking care of our community and doing our part. You know what I'm saying? Because too long, sisters been doing way more than we have. You know what I'm saying? Even though we both share the blame, but they've been doing way more than we have. And we got to step up to the mic and do our job, man. We got to step up to the mic and do our job. We got to handle our business. You know what I'm saying? And act like men and be men, the men that we are.
Hey, Anthony, I can hear him now. Like, oh Lord, they's gonna get us, brother. Oh Lord, have mercy.
Yeah. Well, goddamn it, that's our problem. We worry about them getting us, Negro. Let's go get them. You know what I'm saying? When they come at us, let's have something for them. That we got to do. I mean, that's Doctor. Hey man, Dr. Amos Wilson. You remember he had that lecture where he was talking about. See, one of our main problems is we ain't been trained to kill white folks. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about what I'm saying, when they could do stuff to us, and we'll get up and have a protest march and talk about hands up, don't shoot, and all of that stuff. Well, we need to be going to getting the guns, and when they come at us and blast their motherfucking ass, and let them know you better watch your ass coming up in here. You know what I'm saying? We need to learn how to look up. The only way that bullshit is gonna stop is when we start sending them to funerals and hearing them playing them bagpipes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We got to send them to funerals. See, that's what white folks understand. They understand going to funerals and mourning they did instead of us always sitting around mourning I did and calling on Ben Crump. You know what I'm saying? And another thing, and within our community, what our predators and pedophiles and all our criminal element need to understand, they need to understand from us and what they understand from the police. See, these Negroes will run around here and pull a gun on me and you and shoot me and you and terrorize me and you. But when the white man come through, you can hear a rat pee on cotton. You know what I'm saying? They run and hide. They hide guns then. But we got to do the real men in our community. We got to go back. We got to go and hit these Negroes in the jaw and let them know, no, man, you ain't running nothing over here no more. We running this here. No, the real men. The men who we gonna take care of our community and take care of our people. No, we gonna run all you criminals and all you gangsters and thugs and all you predators, and we gonna run all of y'all up out of here. You know what I'm saying? We ain't dealing with this mess no more. Now y'all getting y'all ass up out of here. So we gotta fight the enemy the way we need to fight them, and we got to fight the internal enemies the way we need to fight them. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we gonna be. That's how we gonna protect our community and get our community back to where it belongs. And we gotta like, hey, look here. We gotta recognize who the enemies is. The outer enemy and the inner enemy. And we gotta handle our business, man. I just leave it at that.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. And I appreciate you for coming on here. Congratulations for your your garden and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I know it's gonna grow big,
Yeah.
my brother, so keep doing your thing. I seen some brothers, I don't know really much about gardening, but I seen some brothers over here. They got some brothers in Jackson Ward that got a garden. So so they over there messing with the young brothers. So I need to find out who they are. I just seen them before, but yeah, so I definitely appreciate you for coming on here. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It used to be you call on some brothers and they're gonna protect the community, run out the quote unquote knuckleheads and all the stuff that they had back then. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, are you going to do what you have to do, or are you going to just because you're never gonna be comfortable, but. So I'm gonna go ahead, Cassidra. By the way, Cassidra, this was another great one, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna be on time the next one though. So
it's all good.
It's
all good. We just don't want to be so late. That's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. We just want to be a little earlier for Cass, but it's okay. But let's start making sure that the man or woman that we're choosing are is safe, and let's start investigating these families. Ladies, let's stop just grabbing the man because he's cute and sleeping with him the first night, creating life. And then you find out now, 2 years later, a year later, even while you're pregnant, that he's dangerous. Let's start vetting these men. It's not always about sex, ladies, because we got to make sure that we keeping our babies safe, and the men too, okay? Because we need you back in the homes. I mean, our children need their dads, okay? They need their moms, and we need to make sure that everybody is healed up to be able to be successful. Because what we're doing now is just being careless. We're not making sure that we're not protecting our babies at any cost. We're taking chances. Just like the one young lady met it, he was a janitor in a homeless shelter. He had some criminal background. It's just some guys that doing certain type of work, and you already know they got a background. So let's start vetting these guys. I believe in doing backgrounds. Some of the stuff is free. All you got YouTube and Well, Google is your friend. Let's start using the Google to check some backgrounds. Okay. We know we got some pedophiles in the neighborhood. Anybody that's too eager to keep your babies is dangerous. Okay. And because real men sometimes they just don't want to, if it's not their child, they don't want to be bothered. We have to start understanding that. And we have to understand that it's gonna take us doing what we need to for us. It's gonna take us doing to make things better in our neighborhood. Nobody's gonna do it for us. We can't vote our way. Black Wall Street was not built on voting; it was built on us pooling our monies together. And that's why I wanted you to show that last video because I think that's important. I think us buying land and reinvesting and understanding that we don't have to be in the condition that we're in. It's gonna take us doing for us and investing in us and buying up land is separating. I do believe in total separation. I do. I believe that that is the only key for us is to totally separate and to educate our babies. Okay, so let's not just separate and then leave our kids over there. Take them. Let's bring them with us. Okay, and we have to create jobs for our own selves because what's coming? These immigrants, they giving them. They gonna get your jobs. You know what I'm saying? Just like with Tyson's food, they have fired all those people when they brought in immigrants paying what 16.75. Come on, these people were making $35 an hour. So now they're making what? Less. It's not even half of what the other people they're paying them. They're making $16. That's nothing. But we have to start doing for us. And now is the best time to start doing that. Just like food. We're counting on them for every bread, every morsel. That's very dangerous. We count on them for our water. That's very dangerous. We have to, like the gentleman, like Anthony was talking about, they getting ready to do their gardens. That's much needed in our community. So if something happens where food is, uh, running a little short, we got our little gardens. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to do something like that now. Let's not wait until we need it. And then you darn near starve to death. And then, then you trying to plant and stuff. No, we have to start doing something now. And now's the best time for us to do it. I do appreciate you, Forecast. Thank you for this opportunity. And we're just going to go deeper because I think these are some very serious topics that we're bringing up. And I think these are topics that we don't talk about enough in our community, especially protecting our babies at any cost. And I rest my mic.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So shouts out, thank you, Cassidra. I appreciate you. Y'all support Realm in the Bush organization. You see the cash app right there. She definitely does things. She does big things. You know what I'm saying, and gives back to the community. So you support what she's doing. You know what I'm saying. Subscribe to her channel when she goes live. When she talks, she goes on the real topic. So thank you, Cassidra. I appreciate it. Shouts out to my brother Anthony. I appreciate you, my brother. I know they kicked you off, but you know what I'm saying. Hit me up when you can find another, what I'm saying, thing. But that's why we need our own platforms anyway.
Yeah, we do. We need our own.
I'm gonna start tagging you here on YouTube, man, because I'm in jail over there though.
Yeah, I don't even use
they'll get you in a minute. That's what they do best. They didn't went and took off some videos I did in 2020. They didn't took them off. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, they got like every time I check my email, they got like a black on one of my videos from a long time ago.
Yeah.
Hey, Forecast. It's it's this brother Obadele Cambone. He live in West Africa. He's from here. He's from New York, but he lives in Ghana, West Africa now. But he has his own channel called a BB Toomey TV. No, he's a Garvey. He's all the way black nationalist. You know what I'm saying?
What's his name?
Obadele Cambone.
Oh Lord. Okay.
His name is Obadele Cambone. Forecast. I know you done heard of it.
I think you sent to me. I don't really know him like that, but
yeah, but he has his own channel. It's off of YouTube. It's called a BB Toomey TV.
Okay, yeah,
it's an independent thing, Yeah, and it's like okay, all right. A BB Toomey is ABIBITUMI. A BB Toomey.
Okay. Oh, okay.
A BB Toomey TV. In his own thing. And I guarantee you, once you listen to him, you're gonna say, where this brother been at? Because he's 100% everything that we do and more. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
No, he's 100% all the way black.
Okay.
He always said, he despises the people. But yeah, his Obadele Cambone. He used to be on YouTube. Koku them, I don't know him. Koku, he did an interview on Koku some years ago. You know when I first started listening to them. But yeah, but look, here's Abadale Cambone, and it's a BB Toomey TV.
Okay.
Hey, forecast Black Magas, ex Black Magas about him. You know him.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna tell him to send it to me, and then I'm gonna send it.
They
Yeah,
real
if he
tight.
send it to me, I'm gonna send it to the considerer.
Yeah, he's real tight with Black Magas. You know him. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. Yeah, I'm gonna hit Black. Oh yeah, well, I could tell Black Magas to send it to consider him being consider. So
Yeah.
Just holler at Black Magas, and once y'all get a hold of him, you can be like, man, where this brother been at?
I know. Okay.
He relocated. He left here. He's in Ghana now. You know, he's a professor at the University of Ghana.
Okay. Wow.
He's a professor over there, and he has like a black institution of, he has a whole center thing for us. Black center, the African center, black, all our stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right. Over there that he's teaching. He has his own organization and stuff over there in Ghana right now.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's a Garveyite, a straight Garveyite.
Okay, yeah, that's what's up. I'm gonna check the brother out. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely shouts out to that brother and everybody that's out there actually doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? But and shouts out to Ross as she knows him well. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
Hey, and that brother with the Kamali Academy is associated with him too. They work together in Ghana.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, Kamari Kamara. They associated. They work together.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Brothers should be working together like that,
Yeah.
So shouts out to shouts out to Raw in the building. Shouts out to Matron. Yeah, shouts out to Matron. Y'all subscribe to Matron. She had a good reading earlier. She almost done with Marcus Garvey, book. So shouts out to Matron. Y'all subscribe to her. Shouts out Bawana. And that's everybody who is in here. So I appreciate y'all. Shouts out to both of y'all. We're gonna be back next week, 8:30. We're gonna figure out what we're gonna talk about and have it set up. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
Man, y'all send me the notification, man. I just happen to look up and see it, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so look for it. I'm telling you, this time it's gonna be no later than 9 o'clock next time, because I'm gonna be like super prepared next time. I'm gonna set it up like the day before, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it takes me so long. My computer keeps freezing every time I try to start it up. But anyway,
no forecast like they kicked me out. I'm in jail over there because you remember you just send a notification through IG.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Check it next Wednesday, like around 9 o'clock, 8:30, but around 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, thank y'all, and I'm sorry again, Cassidra. I know it's late, but
it's all good.
But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.
Right on.
Peace, family.